Hello.
Oh yeah. My brother is. What was it? One of my brothers, because I have 5 older brothers.
Oh my god.
So 6 boys. One of my brothers, I don't know if he was born in Nebraska. I can't remember. I can't remember. But,
Conceived in Nebraska.
I don't think so.
Something happened in Nebraska. That's all we need to know.
I don't know. But he's a huge Nebraska fan. So that's his team. And then his ex-fiance, I decided to make me a blanket with Nebraska. I have no affiliation with Nebraska. I don't give a shit about them. I don't give a shit about any college team. Doesn't matter to me.
But it's a comfy blanket.
A great blanket. It's a great blanket. Underneath it is an Avengers blanket. I also don't give a shit about superhero movies. We watched Spider-Man last night, and it was.
You're gonna make him cry.
We love the superhero movies.
See, so does Nick. I just.
Either you're for it or you're not.
Yeah.
Just now.
But we did watch the other night. Was it Atomic Blonde?
Oh yeah,
That's a good movie.
I've not seen that
yet.
It's very
It's on my list.
It's very because it's British, but it's very Filth, Snatch, those kind of movies. That's my jam right there. Those are my jam.
Here we see where he's at.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you don't even watch movies unless it's Disney or sports or
you're going
Marvel. He doesn't really watch.
I watch movies. I just have not seen a lot of classic movies.
No, you don't watch.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Or
The
modern
acting is
classic.
so bad at it. It's so bad.
I've seen movies. Don't make it seem like I'm just sitting there. And
Have you seen a Harry Potter movie in more than 15 minutes?
Yes. Fell asleep around the 30-minute mark for the first one.
There you go.
It took me a lot of tries to get through a few of the Harry Potter movies.
What else? I've seen 3 Twilight movies.
I have not even seen that.
Yeah.
I think I saw the first one with some girl.
Yeah, they all with some guy.
Always.
I don't think guy just wakes up like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna watch Twilight.
I'm gonna warn you guys. I have to shut the AC off once we actually start. So
It can't be any worse than the Milestone last night.
Yeah, that was 95 degrees indoors. So
I love the Milestone, but oh my god, it's like 1 billion degrees in the summer. It's
was this AC just broken? Because normally it's never that. It gets warm and everything, but it never gets that hot.
A packed house, so.
I mean, I've been there when it was a packed house and it wasn't that hot.
I don't know. Every time I'm in there, I'm pretty convinced that there's no heat and no air.
Maybe it's just you. Whenever you show up,
It breaks.
Exactly. She's gonna be sitting there. It's gonna be a cosmic thing come through the ceiling.
I remember playing there back in the winter, and it was about almost so cold I could barely play. It's so bad.
Just use a glove. You'll be fine.
Yeah, gloves, guitar, works great.
we practiced in a shed.
Oh god.
So it was February. It was January, February, and we're practicing.
We used to.
Yeah.
I have 4 layers on and gloves. I'm just sitting there like this. Nick is trying to play with. Obviously, can't wear gloves, so he's just trying to play guitar. He's like, our drummer is just freezing.
That was the worst because we did before we found our singer. Well, before he started singing, we did an audition because we used to practice in our drummer shed also, and it was I want to say January, February, something like that.
Yeah.
It was 28 degrees outside. Sunny, but so we were out there. She shows up for the audition, and we start playing. I'm like, dude, I can't feel anything. I don't know if the notes are right. I don't know if my fingers are about to fall off. My toes are fucking cold. I can't deal with any of this. Still made it through the audition.
Somehow. God.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
It's great to be a vocalist.
Wait, Will's here?
I'm just a backing vocalist. I wouldn't even call it backing vocalist. I just yell out of tune and off
What do you
time.
think I do? I'm just the main vocalist. I just throw enough distortion in there. It doesn't matter.
That's fair.
Honestly, it doesn't matter what you sound like.
That's our new motto. Throw enough distortion in there, it doesn't matter what you sound like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's true. I mean, you don't need nice guitars if you're going to throw a shit ton of distortion on it.
Don't even need a guitar.
Don't have to
at all.
worry about pedals. Doesn't matter.
Or you just need like a tube screamer, make more distortion.
Mm-hmm.
More distortion. How do you think that guy's got more distortion?
Pedal on there?
No, that's how all those guys do it. They take their amp, they crank it, they throw like a tube screamer or something like that on it, and call it a day.
I could just see little Led Zeppelin now. If I could change anything about Stairway to Heaven, it'd be more distortion. If I could add anything to that song, just distort the hell out of it.
But not even with like a good distortion. It needs to be like an old like an
Boss
OG fuzz
MT10.
pedal, like super old kind of thing.
So, like, when I was first trying to learn how to record, like, all like computer shit, and I still suck. Still don't understand it, but I got a tone that doesn't suck too bad, so I'm like good enough. Like one of the ones on there is that old timey just shit distortion, and I'm like, that's the only sound I could actually like. I was like, this is like the best that I got on here right now, so I'm using this just terrible tone trying to make trying to record metal guitar. Like, this is horrible. It was unlistenable. Like, you couldn't listen to that shit.
Some of those things, it's just like, who created this patch? Like, what is this for?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It just says in the description, goes well with nothing.
Just like literally recorded it, like
I love that thing.
cut up speaker.
I'm tearing everything down right now because we move out next week. Hopefully I'll get it done.
Ears open.
That's why the table's broken down. All this junk is getting thrown away. Yeah. If you want a sign, take a sign.
I'm going to take the sign.
He's gonna take the Jack Daniels sign.
There's,
I didn't even see the Jack Daniels sign, but I'm
there's
going to.
Jack Daniels. There's, if you want a wolf pack,
Did I say student loans on?
student loading zone.
I'm taking that one too. He's going to make it into a music video, I'm telling you.
There's a Wolf of Wall Street poster, and then inside of that is a picture of New York, just like a picture of New York blown up. There's another sticker like that. It's a little one that says, it's like a bathroom. It's like the bathroom symbols. It's like male, female, handicapped, whatever. Just wash your hands.
Just wash your hands.
Yeah, so this one I tried taking off last week. Started to peel it, realized all those individual loading, the little dots, I'm going to have to take every single one of those off individually.
Oh.
So I started doing that after a podcast because I was going to give it to one of the guys wanted it. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll give it to you.
Nope.
Started that. I was like, nope, this is going to take me a day. So
Honestly,
that's not happening.
I would just get some white paint.
I probably would too. Or I'll just leave it there. It's character.
I totally wouldn't leave it.
That's literally what I would. That's how lazy I am. It's like, oh, each of those are individual? Yeah, no.
Hell no.
Nope.
I'm gonna paint over it.
There's so much.
I just leave it for the next person that lives here.
There's holes in the wall I gotta fix. There's
Paint.
our bathroom.
No matter what the situation is, paint solves the problem.
There's an entire fist hole. Kyle came over.
And his friend Tyler.
My girlfriend's apartment. So her brother pushed someone through the wall.
Oh
So there was just this hole like this big.
Oh my gosh.
I fixed that.
Oh, man. And this is why you don't live in an apartment. This is what you do.
Or just not put people through a wall. I mean,
that's fair too.
I would go with that one.
I've seen it happen at a house though.
Oh yeah.
I've seen.
Yeah,
it
but at the
multiple
house,
times.
it's like.
And it was like this. It was a body, son.
That's gonna
Drunk
cost you.
college kid.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling. Someone decided that we should have a wrestling, like a wrestle off,
Oh no.
at this party. So
That's just.
we got the entire baseball team one-on-one wrestling each other.
That always happens. Like that's every party where there's just a bunch of dudes and no girls there. Like eventually,
that's
eventually
true.
somebody's going through a wall. That's just pretty much how it is.
A wall or a plate
A
glass,
wall,
like
like plate
door.
glass window, a door. Some body part is going through to another room without using the door.
It's gonna break through something it wasn't meant to.
You might as well just get ready for it.
Nope. Remind me to not come to a party with you.
I'm not talking about my party.
I would never invite people over. I was like, no, we're not partying in my room. No, we're not breaking my shit.
I'll watch you break your own shit, but I'm not gonna break my shit.
Oh god.
Prepare for it.
My body's not ready.
Okay, R. Kelly.
What?
My mind's telling me no, but my body.
I said my body's not ready. I
Neither
was
was
not
it.
going to.
There's a
R.
video
Kelly.
of R. Kelly singing at some like I don't have a clue where he's at. Somewhere overseas.
Mm.
He's like legitimately just making up words on the spot. He's like, "Do you have your passport?
I've seen that video.
Get your shots?"
I've seen that
What
video.
is that?
It is funny so because he's literally just describing like
how
the
he's going to bring women back, like underage women back to like
that, and he's
His
like doing it in a
mansion.
way, just
Oh,
reading off what the
God.
CDC tells you, like to take shots for you. Have you had your shots yet? You need this one now. B12 vitamin. It's like, what are you talking about, man?
Well, that's not fucked up at all.
oh, it's real fucked up.
Ladies and gentlemen, R. Kelly.
No, thank you. I'm good. How does yours still have ice in it with so little water, but mine's all gone?
I'm black.
I'm gonna sit here and ponder for a moment. Try and see if I can figure out how that makes any sense at
Oh,
all.
it doesn't, but just play the race card. It works.
It's an easy card.
It's an easy card to play.
It's an easy win.
Doesn't have to make
It's
sense
2019.
because who's really going to argue then? Right?
You got two white dudes here. We don't have an argument.
It's like, well,
Mm.
okay.
Okay, I guess so.
I
Never been to a meeting, so I don't know.
You win. All right.
I haven't been to the cookout, so, you know.
Give it time.
I've never been to cookout. I've never eaten at cookout.
We just ate a cookout on the way back from Ground Zero
Yeah.
at 2 a.m. And there was like 3 girls like twerking in the freaking parking lot.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But the music they were like, they were off key, singing, dancing, and the music they were dancing was just like, okay, that's okay. I could see why you would want to twerk to that, but I need you to like be on rhythm at least. But they weren't even on rhythm.
Drunk.
Yeah, you gotta be
No,
drunk.
cookout is definitely the ultimate drunk food. I mean, it's about the only thing that I think can give Waffle House a run for its money.
Ooh.
It's like, I mean, when you can go in there and drop $5 and you get like a tray full of food,
Yeah.
game over.
Playing it fast and loose with the word food, but let's go with it.
I mean, it's fast food.
It's calories.
Yeah, it's fast calories is what it is.
Calories.
It's fast calories. That's what we're gonna call it from now. It's not even food anymore. That's a fast calorie restaurant.
I was just tell people if they've never heard of cookout, I'm like, imagine a place where you can get chicken strips, chicken nuggets, and a chicken quesadilla, all in the same combo.
1987
For $5.
McDonald's.
For $5.
$4 or $5.
That's
I don't think that's chicken. I don't care.
tastes like it.
As long as it tastes like it.
Tastes like what I hope chicken tastes like.
It tastes like what I assume a real chicken would taste like.
Although, it's funny. Jack in the Box is kind of the same way where they have just like a bunch of random ass shit. But like everybody loves Cookout. Nobody likes Jack in the Box.
I've never been to Jack in the Box.
I've never been there. I just remember back like somebody died from food poisoning a long time ago.
That was a bad one.
It's like,
Undercooked beef.
I don't think I'm gonna go there.
I can't remember the last time I saw a Jack in the Box commercial. They used to be all the freaking time. But
Any place that sells burgers and tacos and hot dogs and all of this, I'm a little bit
So
skeptical.
pretty much every baseball stadium?
Fast food. Come on, dude.
So pretty much every bit. It's the same thing. They just charge you $9 for the hot dog versus 99 cents.
But it's acceptable there. It's not acceptable in a drive-through restaurant.
I'm not spending $9 on a hot dog. I'll eat when I get home.
Or like a $9 beer. I'm like, no.
I'll drink when I get home. I'll drink before I get here.
I have a flask in my pants. Don't worry about me.
I'm good to go. There's a whole fifth of Jack in my pocket right now.
Were you guys playing Spartanburg, or were we just going to show?
Oh, we played in Spartanburg.
Oh shit! Who were you playing with?
We played with 8 Vacant Graves.
And
From
Asheville.
Asheville.
And then, was it Paradoxum?
Paradoxium or Paradoxium.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
But they're from Tennessee, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what we played with. We were going to play with Bleed Season also, but they had to back out. I guess their guitars had like a...
Why do I know that name? Are they from this area, Charlotte?
I think they're from
Asheville.
North Carolina. The North Carolina area.
Yeah. They're
I'm not
definitely
sure
from North
where,
Carolina.
no.
I thought they were from Asheville as well with
Okay.
8 Vacant Graves.
I've definitely heard the name, but I have no clue how.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot. I feel like I was like, oh, I know the name. I don't know what genre of music they play,
but I know the name.
but I know the name. Good marketing.
That's true, yeah. It's hard keeping up. There's just so many people to keep up with. It's just not possible.
That was the second time we played a show that was like all metal bands, like heavy metal. We're not.
I was about to say, you guys are not.
We're not, but
I mean, I've seen 8 Vacant Graves.
yeah, he came out there. He came out there and like face painted like Axe and Smash from WWE. I was like, okay, then. All right, Anthony, let's do this.
I mean, what I will say, it was a little interesting because when he came out, like the face paint, I don't care, whatever. That doesn't bother me. He comes out in nothing. So like when we first saw him, he's fully dressed.
Fully dressed.
Yeah.
He comes out in his boxers and some combat boots, and I'm just like.
And by the time their set was done, the entire band was pretty much stripping. I was like, I looked at them, I was like, were they all naked when they first started?
I'm pretty sure they had clothes on at first.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I can dig it. I mean, teach their own. Molly Crew used to get naked all the fucking time, so.
I mean, yeah, but that was the 80s. Like,
I mean,
everybody was naked.
Red Hot Chili Peppers did it too.
We're gonna get
Also
sexual
started in
assault
the
charge.
In other news, Swamp78 has been charged with indecent exposure.
Oh no, I saw them like Clayton Beverage. You guys been there yet?
No, not yet.
No, not yet.
I want to.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a bit of a drive, but I love Steven there. Awesome guy. If you ever want to play there, literally just message him. He will let you play. It's just like a little. How to describe it? So like that wall to the door, and then this wall to about maybe like half the door or the full door there, and it just goes straight back to like one side has like beer, just lined it, and then with the bar, and then no stage. Just set up.
That sounds like
play.
Tommy's.
And I was gonna say that sounds just like Tommy's.
Where's
Tiny little place in
Sounds like
Charlotte.
Charlotte?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they do their. Do you know the Flight Risks? They're like how would you describe them? Kind of like psychedelic punkish kind of vibe.
Okay.
But they like Tommy's is like home base for them. But they get out and around playing places. But yeah, we played there with them. It was
a very interesting night to say the least. So we get there at like 7, and they're saying that they didn't tell us what time we were gonna play at first. So like we get there like we'll probably play around like 8:30 whatever. So he's like, oh hey JJ, yeah, what's that? Like okay, you guys go on at 12. Oh, 12 what? Midnight.
12 minutes?
Yeah, I was like, 12 minutes. I can set up.
I'll do 12 minutes.
I can set up in 12 minutes, but it's like, no, 12 midnight. You guys are, I guess, the co-headliner. I was like, well, no one told us that, but okay. So he shows up and he's like, what time are we going on? And I was like, 12. And he said exactly what you said, 12 minutes, because everybody was like, no, we're going on at 12 midnight. And he's like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Dude, we played one show. We went on a little after 12. We played till after 1. Stupid. But we just played super long.
Yeah.
Because we played our set and then people were still there like, oh, keep going. So we just kept playing.
It was a fun show. Like the
I was sitting over on the side. I'm like, I'm done. And our guitarist just keeps playing. I'm like sitting there with my finger on his power. I'm like, you're going to lose power here real quick.
Turn it off now, immediately. I'm done. But it was a fun show. I'll say that. Like the flight risk, those guys are insane. Like,
yeah, they're crazy.
Crazy. I think I'm crazy, but they take the cake. Like they were dressed. One dude was dressed up like the pimp named Slickback from the Boondocks when we first Brett, whatever. Like it was his birthday, and they all had like borderline. It was like a mix of Disney princess costumes. But if a drug addict was wearing them, but it was just like they made it work. And I'm like, these guys are fucking awesome.
It's, somewhere between Disney princess, drag queen, and like street walker, like somewhere in the middle of that.
Tweaking princess.
And then I was like, hey, let's do it.
That's a rant. Oh gosh.
Oh, and then those kids, Orphan Riot. Yeah. They're these kids.
I've heard that name too.
They were like kind of like metal punky
or
like
punk,
hardcore kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But like there's no way they weren't even old enough
to
14. Drive.
They're 14.
Yeah.
Maybe they're 14. Like they're all 14. But they're good and it's like, are you guys even able to play? Like, yeah, our parents dropped us off. Okay. All right. I mean, I don't own this bar, so let's do it.
I don't know if that's legal, but all right.
Get them out of there before 11. You're good to go.
Yeah,
something like that.
I forget what that.
That's funny.
I'm not a cop. At least not today.
How was the show last night, though?
Show last night was ridiculous.
Really good, yeah.
Outside of the heat.
Do you guys play there often, Spartanburg?
So last night was Milestone. We played in Spartanburg, 2 weeks ago?
Week and a half ago? Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So, Spartanburg, Ground Zero is like, it's kind of interesting because it's like kind of not really near like actual Spartanburg. So it's kind of like off on the side and there's not a whole lot around it. Mm-hmm. But it's a really like big venue, like probably not far off. It's bigger than like Amos's is now in Charlotte.
I would say it has a vibe like a bigger Milestone. Like if the Milestone was wider.
I've never been to Charlotte, so I don't. I can envision it.
Think like Blind Tiger in Greensboro. So it's like
think of that.
Imagine that with like a more like undergroundy kind of like punk venue vibe. Yeah,
that's what it was. But the show last night was sick. Like American Theory, we played with them once, but I guess they had come up with like a lot of new stuff since then. Mm-hmm. Like they were awesome. Never heard of Bull Moose until last night. They're pretty sick too. And it was Digital Drug from Tennessee.
Yeah, Digital Drugs from Tennessee. Bull Moose is from Georgia. American Theory is from Charlotte, and then of course Reason to Find. American Theory, they're pretty young too. They're like over 18.
They're over 18, but under 21.
I know they had X's. I know that much.
I used to hate that. Oh, I hated that so much. Because you had to sit there and scrub for like 8 minutes. It's like, why use such permanent marker? Just give me a different color wristband. There's no need to maim me with it.
They give you the
to close my pores.
And immediately scrub that off. Yeah, I can drink now.
They're kind of in that like, you know what I mean when I say like swancore, that like kind of Dance Gavin Dancey, like a little progressive, kind of higher vocals, that kind of whole thing. So, and they're good at it. I mean, they're not.
DGD, so.
Yeah, I mean,
their
they're not like.
Did not take a break the whole set. He was just going.
Yeah, he's going. Which, I mean, that's just how that kind of genre is.
And he was wearing like a collared shirt. I'm like, I know you're hot. There's no way you're not sweating right now.
Oh, like ripping it, dude.
Yeah, he was killing it.
If you're going that hard, just rip
Oh,
it.
yeah. No. And, I mean, they're young, so they're just these little, like, scrawny little kids just, like going off. And I'm just like, okay.
Arm strength is a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I bit my... Yeah, I bit a little bit.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just a minor injury.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. This thing's still healing. So
I was going to ask what happened there.
I keep telling people I was saving a cat from a tree. That's not the story. I was hopping on my buddy's motorcycle. And,
Exhaust pipe.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And they told me, watch out for your leg. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm watching out for my left leg, not my right leg.
Oh, yeah. I've done that before.
That sounds painful.
No, it didn't hurt. It literally didn't hurt. It still doesn't, like, I mean...
It builds character.
You know what? I don't got a lot of scars. This is a good one. This is a good one to start.
That's how he starts every interview. This is my scar. His name's Daniel.
I would be like, I was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, I've been making up
It's just like milk it, like really milk it. It's like, yeah, I was in a motorcycle accident, but I'm fine now.
You reverse it.
It's fine.
You think I was saving the cat from a tree? I was saving the tree from the cat.
You got big claws. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
He's going hard.
I'm trying to save the oxygen here. I care about the planet.
It was also a mountain lion.
I choked out a mountain lion with my feet.
Oh, God.
I'm just that good.
Do you guys remember when that guy did that? He like choked out it was a mountain lion, wasn't it? And,
Like
like,
California?
They said it was a baby mountain. I'm like, yo, either
I
way, it's still a
care,
fucking
dude,
mountain
choke out a
lion.
mountain lion.
You choke out a mountain lion. I don't care if it's a baby or if it's just fucking born. That's still pretty impressive.
You get an honorary black belt. That's it.
Honorary. Probably isn't he already a black belt?
I don't know.
Who would think to choke out a mountain lion? Something like that.
Yeah.
You have to be.
I'm not
that would
trying
be
to
the
choke it out. Like, I'm running.
Yeah, you're running,
I'm
and then
gonna
after it
try
catches you,
to
then
run.
you're.
Then you're dead. Well,
You can take the arms.
He's just sitting there like he's talking to people as he's doing it. Yo, I got this. Just call animal control. It's gonna wake up in a minute. I promise.
he'll be fine.
He's not gonna be fine. He's not gonna. He's not okay.
Okay, so the show last night, Milestone. Who was Reason to Find headlining it? Or?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so impressed with that.
Same.
But anyway, what was I gonna say? How big is Milestone as far as like max capacity? You said it was full, right?
It was close. They said on the sign it says 450.
Okay.
I don't think you're getting 450 in
I
there.
was gonna say, if you had 450 people in there,
That's a casualty.
you're not
waiting to
moving.
happen.
That's
I would
there's no
say
way.
a couple hundred would be until you start like, because they have like a porch on the side where you can go outside where there's more room, but you can't really hear anything because the door's closed. But where the actual stage is, maybe 100, 125.
Yeah, there's
Without-
no way you can
Okay.
fit more than between 100 and 150. There's no way you can fit more than
You
that.
probably get
in the
another
main room.
50 or 75 around the bar, but outside of that,
I will take that.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh
Are
yeah.
you kidding me? I'll take 20 people. I don't give a
I'll
shit.
play a show in front of one person. I don't. It is what it is.
That was the funny part about the Ground Zero show. It's because like none of us are from Spartanburg or
Yeah,
anywhere
that was-
in South Carolina. We're the closest one, and we're an hour and a half away in Charlotte.
Every band was like not from there, so I guess it was. No one really knew that we were playing or whatever.
Yeah.
So we get there, just like 10, 15 people, and
Yeah, just regulars.
I'm like, I'm still gonna play.
Oh yeah.
I'll take 10, 15.
And then there was this one
In a
guy
new
with his wife. Like he was singing our song.
And I was just like,
It was just like, okay, where you know us from? He's like, yeah, man, we're from Colorado, but we just drive around listening to local bands. And he's like, you guys just came up on the thing, and then like we saw you were playing, so we showed up. I was like, that is fucking crazy. I love that guy already.
it's like I don't even know how.
I don't know what to
you
say.
find us.
I don't know
Like,
how you found us, but you
Is
just
that
happened
how-
to be in the area. He's like, I'll go check them out.
Are they just like traveling?
I
Yeah,
guess
they just
so,
travel,
yeah.
and then he's like not even travel listening to like major bands. Like we just travel and go to local shows. I was like, that is fucking
Dope.
sick.
It's like Nick and I are building out a band. So, like, that's exactly what we're doing. So that's why I was like, oh, that's so fucking awesome. Other people do that.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, we played a show. We played this one show where I think we had 5 people. I was determined. There's one guy wearing a Slayer shirt, and he was not smiling. And I can't stand it when you're not smiling. So I was determined. I fucked with him so hard until he started just like just sitting there like this, doing a Slayer thing. And then I just kept fucking with him. Then eventually he like broke, and he just smiled. He's like. Like fuck yeah. Like ended the song right there. I'm like, I'm done. Got it.
We're done. I'm done. I can retire from this now.
Y'all were supposed to end your set 15 minutes ago. I was like, I could not stop. I
stop.
couldn't.
Slayer had to smile. Slayer had to smile. Okay.
Please name your album that.
Slayer
had to smile.
You good with that, Nick?
No.
Oh. Dang it.
I tried.
Just name it Too Many.
Too many?
Yeah, too many song titles or whatever. Something stupid.
I mean, it's gonna be something stupid. We're pretty stupid people.
I was gonna say we're pretty familiar with that.
It's pretty much how our process works.
Yeah, let's see. What ours the name came after the album cover, actually.
The name of the album?
Yeah, so
Yes.
we did our EP last year, and then we were just like, well, what do we want to do? And I think I said it. Wasn't
You said it was he. Said it. We just
said,
came up with like the dumbest ideas. It was like, let's name it
whatever.
Whatever.
And then I was like, well, you know what? We should just put a fucking narwhal on the cover of it and just call it a day. A narwhal. So it's like a type of whale, but it has this giant like horn coming out of its face. So it's like a whale unicorn.
Okay.
I was like, let's just put that on there. It'll be fine.
And of course, I don't respond to that text because I'm like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. So I go to a work meeting, I walk back out to 29 unread messages. I'm like, okay, maybe they came up with something. And it's just 28 straight messages like, that's a great idea, Josh. Great idea, Josh. Like, that's fucking terrible. But now we have a narwhal on the cover of our...
And of course, his response is, how did we end up at this point? And so we were basically like, well,
that's the
what
name of
we're
the album.
gonna call
How did we
the
end up
album.
here?
It's so stupid, but it works.
It does work.
Where did Swamp78 come from?
So we used to be roommates, like back in 2012. We worked at Best
Something
Buy
like
together.
that, yeah.
So we found out that we both play. We're like, hey, let's start a band up, just pedal pissing around or whatever. So we're like writing stuff, and then he goes to work. He's like, yo, what are we gonna name ourselves? And we couldn't think of anything the night before, so I'm off the next day. He's going to work. He's like, yeah, just text me if you think of anything. Knowing me, like, when you tell me that, every thought in my mind, I'm going in that text message. But I'm not going to send them separately. I'm going to send them all as one giant text. So I thought of, I think it was like 717 different names. I sent them all as one text, which fucking crashed his phone.
He broke my phone with all these fucking band names.
So he gets home and he's just looking. I guess he went to like the ABC store. He's like, I don't deal with this guy's bullshit. He opens the door. He's like, you piece of shit. So and then none of those names work. So we're just sitting there playing. Was it Halo or was it Sky?
It was Halo.
We're playing Halo, and then now we're drinking. And just drunk. And I was like, let's just name it something stupid. You know how Sum 41. Let's just take a name and put a number after it. He's like, what? I don't fucking know. Swamp78. And he just looks at me like, I like it. And now it just stuck.
That's just the name. I love. I love the band names. They're just stupid. Just nothing.
And people are like, I know it has to have some type of meaning. It really doesn't.
Nope.
It's
None whatsoever.
nothing.
But it grabs your attention though, so.
Just like, I wonder what that is.
That's not what I thought it was at all. But I like it.
I mean, if you think about like genre-wise, it literally could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be folk music. It could be metal.
We're going to do a folk album next.
There you go.
We should do that.
Who plays the banjo?
Oh, God.
Probably be you.
No, I don't want to play banjo. We'll make Ben do it because so Ben's our guitarist. He's actually the most recent member of the band, but he like somehow ends up with this like he's got this huge collection of guitars and everything. And so he started this new job a couple months ago, and so one of his coworkers found out he played guitar and whatnot, and he brings him, what was it?
A sitar?
Yeah, a fucking sitar, like a big ass like Middle Eastern sitar, and he has this sitting at his house right now, and
Ben just has a knack of getting people to give him instruments. Like people just hand it to him, like, here, you play guitar, here's a sitar, here's a piano, here's a trumpet for no reason. It's like, how do you have all this stuff?
Why?
I don't know.
Someone gave you that shit, like, I'm not gonna take this.
He said at first he turned it down, and the dude just like, okay, well, I know that you said you don't want it, but here it is anyway. So he sends us a video on Snapchat. It's like, I got this fucking sitar. I don't know what to do with it. It's like, we don't know what to do with it either.
Learn to play.
I guess that's all you can do now.
Learn to play.
Something out, yeah.
Clean it first, but you don't know where it's been.
Maybe change the strings.
Yeah, probably.
What are you doing with your instruments?
Well, you know, Josh, as a bassist, we keep that confidential.
I'm throwing away a guitar. That's what I'm doing. $50 guitar. It's going in the trash.
Well, you should like do something fun with it.
Just smash it first.
We're gonna do that.
You doing the slow man?
I will.
What's his name? Neil. They do like a giveaway thing, like at their shows.
Yeah,
if you have
we
like
do
like a decent sized show coming up, just like
Do like a raffle off.
or something like that.
I'm gonna smash it.
Once you said smash, I saw it in his eyes. Like
I'm way more appealing.
I'm smashing that guitar. That's what's gonna happen.
We don't have any shows yet, and I really want to smash a guitar now.
You can keep saying ideas all you want to, but I'm smashing the guitar.
Oh god!
And just
I'm
save
debating. Now I'm debating what do I smash it on.
Save the footage, put it in a music video.
I'm running through like ideas.
That's what. Smash it, save the footage, music video too.
Side of someone's car.
I want to find something. We gotta find something good.
Just wait until like
Oh,
some.
let's go to the Star Wars
Your
part
head, I mean-
over there and just bang it on the Star Wars art.
The side of someone's
Star Wars
face.
art.
The graffiti of Star Wars is over there.
Where?
Over there about. Boy, you know I don't know these streets over here.
You're talking about the Meredith?
Huh? Yeah. The one over there.
Oh, the back. Oh yeah. There's like it's right across. It's like right next to the train tracks over here. Over there.
Hillsboro somewhere.
There.
Hey, you can tell us. We don't know our way around here. So it don't
Right
matter.
out back. Right out back. No, there's just like this random building. No clue what this building is. I don't know if it's a store or something. Anyway, the back of it is just covered in graffiti. It's like the only building with graffiti.
It's a tattoo shop right there.
Is it?
I think it is. It might
That would
be.
make sense. But they always like have just like random. I didn't know it was Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a Star Wars feature.
Clearly, I don't pay attention.
You never seen Star Wars.
I've never seen.
I haven't either.
What the fuck?
Bam. They like Marvel movies.
And that's why we're wearing Oakleys.
I don't get the reference.
We're both wearing Oakleys.
Yeah,
But I don't get the reference.
I don't get the reference either.
Okay.
we're just the same.
We like the best band ever.
Oh.
We watch the best movies.
We're not talking about He Is Legend, are we?
We obviously have the best looking haircuts here. So.
Please don't get me.
Hey, I got the shit out of my head last night. I was just bleeding down.
Hey, that's metal.
I decided to try shaving my head for the first time. So I'm like sitting there like using these shitty disposable razors. I'm like,
Oh no!
just
Oh,
cutting
no.
up my head. I apparently went a little deep, like right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And just took a chunk out.
You know, poor
Sober.
decisions.
Sober.
A for the effort.
Sober.
It only gets better from here. Like, I don't see how it can get much worse until you're just slicing your head clean open, and
Oh,
at that
God.
point you're really just doing it on
Thank
purpose.
you. That's
Just
just
partying at that point.
I'm just like
I don't want anything to grow here ever again.
trying to go bald. I don't want to have to keep doing this.
When you're too cheap for laser hair removal, just... Oh, God.
Scalping myself.
Can it be a business, like a scalp barbershop? What we're going to do, we're going to bloody up your scalp.
We're gonna put your hairline way back here. You can't even fucking see it in the mirror. That's cool, boss. Cool.
Do you remember LeBron James circa 2014?
We're going to give you the Stephen
That's
A.
what we're going to do for
We're going to
you.
give you the Stephen A. Smith hairline. That's what we're going to do. The Stephen A. Smith special.
Man.
He needs to cut that. Like, come on now. There's no way you don't know it looks like that. It's literally starting at the crease in your...
They're trying to play it off, man.
No, because he always mentions it. My hairline needs to be up here. Well, take it all the way off.
I saw someone earlier today. They're just walking, and they just got the back of their head just thick. Just the back of their head, though. The top is just clean gone. And I'm just like watching. I'm like, you should just completely take that off, right? It looks
Like,
so bad.
Did the barbershop burn down halfway through your haircut? Or I think you're supposed to go back and finish that.
Nah, that's good.
Yeah, it seems fine.
It seems good to me.
I realized that we never introduced you guys.
It happens.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm JJ. I play bass and do backing vocals.
Hey, I'm Josh. I do lead vocals and guitar.
And then Ben is not here.
Ben's not here. He plays guitar, and David is drummer.
David drummer. Okay.
Yep.
And then you guys started the band 20.
We started talking about it in 2013, I guess.
Yeah.
We didn't really
start.
start being serious with it until 2016.
2016.
Yeah,
And then out EP last year.
last year.
Yep.
How many songs?
6.
Ooh, longer EP.
Yeah, it was weird because it was kind of rushed. Like
Okay.
we got everybody together and we're like, we need to release something just to have it out there. Because we wanted to do like an LP at first because we still had a couple other songs that we could have added on. But we're like, you know what? Let's just do a quick EP. We'll start writing for an LP, which we're doing now.
Okay.
From that. And it just came together pretty quick.
6 songs. Where did you guys record?
With Rob at Catalyst Recording in Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah, he is awesome. So.
Was it Catalyst?
Catalyst.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
Okay. Catalyst recording. Okay. Has he done any other people I would know possibly?
He did the Dirty Lowdown. Their LP that's coming up, he did them. I'm not sure if you heard of the band Still Standing from 5-6 years ago.
That
He
sounds
did.
familiar.
Yeah. My friend JD, who's actually now my bass tech, he was there. And he did theirs. But he's been around for 25 years now. He's one of the longer, one of the longer running guys in Charlotte. So.
Yeah, because it was somebody else, wasn't it? And they recently closed down, and now I think he's technically the longest running recording studio in Charlotte now that the other place closed.
He is the champion. We should get him a belt.
Like a big old WWE belt.
Just a big old WWE belt and just or like a random cummerbund. Like, here you go, man. We did this for you.
You said you're writing right now, doing a full LP. How many songs are you thinking?
We're thinking between 10 to 12, depending on what we can get out. So at least 10, I know that much.
Going back to Catalyst or going somewhere else? Not sure yet.
Not 100%. I wouldn't mind going back to Catalyst though.
For sure.
Yeah, he was really work well with his first time. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. Or if it is broke, fix it. Either way, fix it. Right?
Either way, yeah. I like the idea of going different places. Just if you know, as long as the work is good.
Yeah.
I just you get a different product. So that's what I was wondering. What was I gonna say? Yeah, because you guys are kind of rocky, right?
Yeah.
How
Say alternative.
How would you describe? Yeah, alternative.
I would say alternative rock. We have a couple songs that are
just
a little
throw
more.
everything under rock.
Yeah, we're just rock.
There's rock, pop,
if you want to get like more into it, I would classify it as alternative rock. I don't know if you want to have any other things to add on here, like the
vegetarian electro grindcore.
Yeah,
that.
I get that.
That sounds like went straight from our alternative to that. I look
Who's the
forward.
vegetarian?
There isn't one. We're just
Okay.
it's just you know.
You used to be a vegetarian.
Yeah, for a little while.
Used to.
Until he almost like what was it like?
Well,
You had like iron problems or something.
No, I just really wanted Chick-fil-A, honestly.
That is a terrible reason.
Wait.
At least get a
No
burger.
pickles?
No, I gotta go with the pickles. I love pickles. It's so
Could have
good.
been brothers, man.
We're so close. So close.
So close. The pickles is what drew the line. Like that, I draw the line at pickles. You could have done anything else. You could have fought a baby. But the fact that you put pickles on your sandwich, we're done. We are done.
So my wife was in when she was still in school. She studied abroad in New Zealand, and like it's super easy to be vegetarian there. They've got all these crazy farmers markets and all this stuff. And so when she came back, I was like, well, I guess I'll try it, whatever. And honestly, it doesn't bother me.
Easy.
Yeah, it's super easy to do,
easy, yeah.
except for two things. I love Chick-fil-A and I love sushi. If not for those two things, I would be fine. Does not bother me at all.
The Chick-fil-A. The sushi, I'm like, okay. The Chick-fil-A. I'm like, I cannot get behind that one.
Oh, come on.
Lost me.
You getting your number one fan here, man.
I know.
The Marvel movies, the Chick-fil-A.
Well, I guess it's about that
Time
time.
the old Dusty Trail.
Oh, we went to this place last night. What was it? Mojo's
Burger joints.
Smash. It's like pound burger.
Oh my gosh.
5 minutes. What?
6 minutes. You
Fuck
finished
off,
in
fuck
6
off,
minutes and
fine.
23 seconds.
I'm willing to take that challenge on of 6 minutes, 23 seconds.
It's. Oh, I could have finished it faster.
I couldn't. I finished it beforehand.
I don't really chew my food. It's just
This is
That's
the
the point.
first time, the only time Nick has ever eaten. Did you eat more than me? You may have ate
I
more
did.
than me.
I ate onion rings and chili cheese fries
First
and
time
then
you
a pound
ever
burger.
ate more than me and finished it faster than me.
I was on a mission.
But in my defense, his burger was a burger and bun. Mine was burger, all the vegetables, and then bun.
Oh yeah, then that doesn't count. You gotta have your lettuce and your
You know what?
onions and
It was
all of
free
it.
toppings. I put my free toppings on there: ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise.
yeah, the man has a point.
Sad. It's a sad day.
Lettuce and tomatoes just getting in the way of the food.
It's also a valid point.
I didn't order a salad.
You don't put salad on your burger now.
Thank
I
you, sir.
mean,
I don't even really like tomatoes, so I can't.
I mean,
they're whatever to me.
it's like pizza though. Like,
Really?
I don't think a
just don't
tomato's
feel
like
a plain
pizza.
old-
Really?
Tomato, pizza, those
well,
are two different things.
Tomatoes on pizza, so don't even try that.
No.
There was
Tomato sauce.
That's not just tomatoes though. There's extra like chemicals and stuff they put in that.
What kind of pizza are you eating?
Don't worry about it.
There was a case where pizza was being classified as a vegetable in the schools because there's tomato. They were saying
But
that
tomatoes are
because there's-
fruit.
Fruit, I don't fucking know. I don't remember. Fine, fruit.
I was gonna say, regardless, this logic doesn't make any sense.
They were classifying it as a fruit or vegetable. How about and or? Fruit and or vegetable because it had tomato sauce on it. Woo! Go America!
Pizza's healthy, man. Hey, it's healthier than meth.
I mean, while accurate, I feel like it needs a little asterisk next to that.
I'm trying to get me some new teeth. So
I just want to find the person that says that meth is healthier than pizza. I don't care what you put on the pizza.
I repeat, you can't just say pizza is healthier than meth. You need at least the asterisk.
Okay, fine. The asterisk still, the statement still adds up.
I don't know why I'm picturing this as like the old school like Got Milk like ads you'd see like a magazine or something. It's like pizza is healthier than meth.
But they say it really fast, just so pizza's healthier than meth. This opinion may not be bad.
It's like, what?
This study's
Very
not based
small
on
print
anything.
on the magazine.
This is based on a single study containing only 3 people, and 2 of them died. So
But those are 2 that had the meth.
the other guy had pizza, so obviously there's the correlation.
Science. That's science for you right there.
Okay, so
Whatever fan we had singular, they're gone now. Because I'm talking about meth, pizza.
We had a fan.
this is normal. This is normal. That's me.
Oh god, if this is normal, then
At
what's
least it's not
abnormal?
cocaine. Normally, I'm talking about cocaine. So
I mean, we can talk about cocaine, but wouldn't meth be like higher on the fucked up scale of drugs?
I mean,
I mean, you really, just heroin at that point, that you can go higher than. Cocaine's just like second base in 2019. It's just like
we can get some heroin.
I mean,
I'm afraid of needles.
Oh.
Just
See, I got these great veins. They are
they
perfect.
are ready to drink it up.
Whenever I go to get blood, they're like, "Ooh, yes." I'm like, "Oh, you're weird."
Yeah, if you say "ooh yes," looking at my veins, you're a serial killer.
Yeah, that's some like Jeffrey Dahmer shit. They're like,
They're gonna eat you.
can you not, please?
And
I
not in a
feel
good way.
uncomfortable.
Don't say it in that voice.
It's starting to get hot. It's already happening here.
Wait, you don't like this voice?
No, it sounds. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't fancy it.
What is that voice?
I don't fancy it.
Man.
So music.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we here for?
Do you guys have the songs already written out, or still writing?
We're probably I've got like half the songs written. Probably.
Are you primary songwriter?
So music wise, I've pretty much always just done like the main songwriting within like just kind of bring it to them
Like
and
structure,
say
all that.
So we kind of look at it as like, was there anything think this might be a little better, but like the bulk of it's me. And then with the previous album we had a different singer, and so she was the one that handled all the lyrics and the melodies and all that. And so with this, with our LP going forward, I'm handling pretty much all the music, although Ben, I think, has a few ideas too that we're going to bring in. And then JJ's the one that's primarily doing the vocal, definitely the lyrics, and then we kind of work together on the arrangement.
And the harmonies and melodies and stuff. So,
It's a process.
It is a process. But like I'm always writing. Like he'll tell you, like I have like books of lyrics. Even when I wasn't the lyricist, like I'll just be sending stuff like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" Then he'll block my number for a couple of days and unblock it because
Then he gets them all at once.
all of it.
Damn it! Why did I do this to myself?
But then we'll get together, like the 2 of us. Like we have this song that we're writing. It's called Home. It's actually finished now, but. So after we're done with the music and then the lyrics, he and I will get together and we'll decide the vocal arrangements, harmonies, what part am I going to sing, what part he's going to sing, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much sums it up.
Hey,
I just throw it at the wall.
I hope it sticks.
Yeah,
Did you know you have to cook the spaghetti before you do that? Otherwise, none of it sticks. No one told me
the
that.
hard
You just
spaghetti
throw the hard spaghetti.
doesn't
stick to
to
the non-sticky wall. It's crazy.
I always just like threw it really hard. Like you remember like school with the drop ceilings, the kids that would like throw the pencil straight out. That's like the spaghetti. Like just,
I gotcha.
If you're that strong,
I never understood the pencil thing.
I didn't understand it. I mean,
I tried. I got in trouble. I couldn't do it. But
my teachers wouldn't let other students let me borrow pencils because I used to do the thing where you just hit up on the desk like that and just fling it across the room. So teachers like don't let JJ borrow any type of writing utensil. If he doesn't have it, he just doesn't get to do the work.
Yeah, that's fine. I
don't
have it.
I didn't want to do the work anyway. So
you got a 0 for the day. I'm not giving you any more pencils. You threw the last 10 of them.
That's fine. I don't need this.
I don't need this.
Do you know when your looking to like get in the studio?
I wanted to do it like later this fall. That's what one of the goals I have. Mm-hmm. Well, not we have.
Just you.
Just me specifically. He just shows up and sings.
He's on a different time frame. He's like,
I sit down and what happens, and that's what it is.
We have a show next Thursday, and then after that, we're actually taking a little bit of a break to finish writing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have anything planned for like a month after that. So we're gonna take that time to bang out the rest of them. Send them off to David because David's motto is, "I'm just here to play drums." Just tell him. That's literally what he says every question we ask him about the band. Do you want to play this show? I'm just here to play drums. Do you want to go to the studio? I'm just here to play drums. It's like, okay, cool. We're gonna put that in a shirt and give it to him. I'm just gonna show up and play drums.
That's a shirt.
That's literally what he does. He shows up, plays drums, plays it well, gets off stage, and then he's gone.
To be honest, we're just lucky. I'm lucky enough to like drums were my original instrument. I played that all through like school and everything, and then picked up guitar in high school. So like, if I didn't know how to like write drum parts, I don't know what we would do because Dave would just be like, "Well, okay, that's fine." So
you probably just improv it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
do you just like program it, or do you?
So like I write them all out. I use like Guitar Pro, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so I just write everything in there for drums. Like I give him like general guideline of whatever, and let him do the fills and stuff like that. Same for bass, and just kind of give the general guidelines, and they can do whatever they want with the fancy stuff. But all the fancy stuff,
and not just destroy it after he. Oh, this is what you want. I'm gonna do the exact opposite of this.
Like I am gonna go do my own thing because I'm not following the guitar. Fuck you.
And everything you stand for.
I enjoy the bass. I enjoy bass solos. So.
There wasn't supposed to be a solo, but
it's crazy how things work like that.
5 minutes.
Just bass. You guys can get off the stage. This is my time to shine.
JJ, we're packed up. Are you done yet? Because they want to lock up.
5 more minutes.
We're gonna make that a YouTube channel. 5 minutes of bass solos.
I'm thinking of just 5 minutes of Kenny G smooth jazz now, and I'm just like, can we stop?
Don't make fun of Kenny G.
Silence. Just silence.
I didn't know how to respond because he was so serious about it too. He was like, don't make fun of Kenny G.
He and I go way back.
I have questions, but we're gonna put a pin in that and come back to that.
We got to drive home. We'll talk about it then.
Thursday. Where are you playing Thursday?
Skylark.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
How big is Skylark?
It's not super big.
I'm just trying to get all the layout of Charlotte right now.
It's probably not too much bigger. Maybe slightly bigger than the downstairs area here.
Just like that.
But they have a.
If the stage is actually it's shaped just slanted like that. So
yeah.
If that's the stage, it'll just push out to about the fridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at the pictures now.
Then there's a side back room that goes to the bathroom.
Everything. It's pretty much like being.
He's really good at Facebook stalking.
Me too.
It's crazy.
This is getting too weird. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Stalking is when two people go on a romantic walk together and only one of them knows about it.
Oh, God.
At least that's what the judge said.
Man. But yeah, Skylark...
One of them ends in the trunk.
Oh,
no,
God.
that's a completely different crime.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
That's Stalking 2.0.
I was going to say... Oh, God.
It's got a sequel, Stalking 2.0.
First it was Dahmer, now we've moved on to Ted Bundy. Okay.
He had a movie about him.
Have you seen the Zac Efron one?
I haven't.
It's actually not bad.
I've heard that every time I log into Netflix, it's the first thing that pops up. It's we have a recommendation for you. It's
you like serial killers.
It's there's nothing on my Netflix that says serial killers. We get that, but watch this.
But Zac Efron.
It's Zac Efron.
But Zac Efron.
Yeah, when I first heard they were making that, I was like, what? But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
He does a pretty good job.
It's a weird little thing where you're like, I kind of like Ted Bundy.
Like,
I kind of don't mind the guy.
I've heard a lot of girls say he was hot, and then I look at the picture and I don't see it.
And that, yeah, I mean, like,
he was not cute.
Nick was saying the same thing, but here's what I say. What was that? The 70s, 80s?
it was, yeah,
They say
70s,
he started
I think.
in the late 70s, and he just
I mean, people
He
weren't
looked like
exactly
a boy.
like.
I've seen pictures of people in the 70s too.
Yeah,
Besides,
I mean,
it's just.
like,
I'm not saying
They
okay,
were-
that's too far. I don't. Let's just say I don't see it. We'll stop there, but
I don't really see it either, but you know,
maybe he was really charming.
that's what they say.
Yeah.
Most psychopaths are.
Damn.
Hey, help me load this boat up.
Yeah,
With a fucking shovel.
Yeah, he had like I think he had like a cast at one point, like his arm or something in a cast. He would get him to like help him because he's like, I can't do it by myself. Can you help me?
Can you help me find my dog? I
No,
lost a
I'm
puppy. Can you help me find my puppy?
Nope. going home.
Going home.
Screw you and your
Picture,
puppy.
you have it on your phone. Here's a picture of it.
I'm about to do a reverse Google image search. We're gonna find this off of somebody else's Facebook, and I'm out.
Is that a thing? Reverse Google image.
Oh yeah, you can throw an image onto Google, and you can find where it like sourced from.
Yeah.
He's clearly a catfisher, so that's
Yeah,
that's why he does that.
No, but actually, they do that on that show.
Yeah, that's where the show came
Yeah,
from.
that like catfish show.
Max and
Okay, yeah.
Steve or whatever his name
They
is.
were just in North Carolina.
Were they?
Yeah, Clayton.
They were in Clayton?
I think they were in Clayton.
A lot of
Oh
people
my
are in
God.
Clayton recently.
Max was in Clayton?
I think so.
I don't
saw
care
a
about
pic-
the other
I
guy.
saw a
Max with
picture
the salt
of
and
it.
pepper hair. He's got
Ooh,
a guy.
I was trying to get that hair at one point.
You gotta get the Just for Men salt and pepper. Like they actually have
Yeah.
a thing for it.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he did.
Well, that's just like, but I don't know if that's like, because I was trying to dye it to that color, so I like had to like completely bleach it
Oh,
and then try to
yeah.
come back.
Such a scene girl.
I was.
I think you should do it. You should. Do
I
it.
tried.
Try again. Like
Okay.
you know.
I'll
what they
try
say.
right now.
Exactly.
I'll try.
He's gonna bleach his
It shouldn't
scalp.
take too long.
And at first you don't succeed, give up because it's not for you.
Whoa, damn.
What week? A
Words
couple
of
weeks
life.
ago, I had like sun poisoning, is what Nick likes to call it. I don't know. My head was leaking. It was just oozing out this like yellow shit.
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
It's, you don't. Hey, you know
It's
what?
like sun blisters when you like don't use any like suntan lotion. You just
I don't know what suntan lotion is.
What?
Exactly.
I have had that
What?
happen before.
You don't have the same problem as me.
No,
Are you sure?
I have built-in suntan lotion. Like it's a permanent thing. Like
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind you to always wear sunscreen when going outside because otherwise you'll die from cancer.
Well, you're gonna die from cancer either way.
That's probably
I was
true.
gonna say you're gonna die from something. Might as well be.
Oh.
Oh, that's.
I'm still hoping for the zombies. But you know,
Ooh.
at least that would be a semi-fun way to go.
I don't think being eaten alive is a semi-fun.
You know
way to-
what?
No,
But-
but the fun part is right before you get eaten. When
Yeah,
you're like
Hacking away.
killing, like just
Yeah, when there's like
Real
30 of them
thrill.
coming at
But
you.
real thriller.
Okay, a lot of people say that, but out of an average 100 people, how many do you think would really be able to kill off some zombies before they get eaten? Most people are gonna like run away, trip over themselves, get
Hit
eaten
their head.
anyway,
Oh,
hit their head
okay.
against the cement, and now they're just. But
Damn.
And they're not gonna be walking like they're not gonna be dragging their feet.
they're gonna be Usain Bolting it out there.
They're gonna be running.
What's the movie? Dawn of the Dead? No.
28 days later, that was the fast zombies.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
28 days later.
Weren't they even
Really
fast?
good
They were
movie.
fast in I Am Legend too, weren't they?
Well, but that was the first one. 28 days. All before it was all the
28
George
Days Later
Romero.
is like the best.
That one's
zombie
really
movie.
good.
I haven't seen that either.
Start with
Zombieland.
28 days later.
Zombie-
Don't start with 28 weeks.
No.
It's not as good.
Yeah, no, all the old ones were like the slow, like, you know, Resident Evil style, like,
Yeah.
zombies.
Dragging around.
And then 28 days later is when shit got real, and it's just like sprinting at you full force.
Well, nothing you can do there.
I'll take the slow zombies for 1,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I don't like they can like sprint and everything because I'm like, now it's just unfair. Like, it's just impossible. Like, there's no way they would lose.
Yeah.
no, I'm
Like,
good.
They just go and keep going and then keep going more.
Yeah.
And there's all of
Because they're
them.
hungry.
Energizer should use that as a commercial, just like fast-moving zombies eating people.
Zombified Energizer Bunny. God.
I was pissed. The first episode of The Walking Dead is literally just a rip-off of 28 Days Later. I saw the first episode, and I was like, wait, this is literally just 28 Days Later.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it.
Here, what was around first? Was it
28 Days Later.
Walking Dead comic books, or was it 28 Days Later, the movie?
Who gives a shit about the comic
The
book?
Walking Dead comic books
Fuck.
probably around before 28 Days later,
That-
or 28 weeks later, or
all
28
day after
years
listening to this
later.
shit about comic books versus the movie.
Although I think
All
28
day.
Days Later is based on a book too, so
Yeah.
we need to do more research.
28 Days.
So-
Wikipedia.
Who wrote the book first? It was either the book or the comic book.
It was Shakespeare.
Clearly,
Shakespeare.
Romeo and Juliet is really just about zombies.
Yeah,
Like, there's really.
it is, honestly.
Yeah, they cut out that third act where they both resurrect from the dead.
He really could have waited just like 2 minutes
You know,
to drink the poison, like, or just ask somebody, like, "Is she really dead?" And I was like, "No."
To be honest, though, like that would have made a much more interesting story. You're just like, well, they died. Now they're zombies. Oh my god, why did I not?
That's gotta be a parody.
Well,
that has to
If
be a
it's
parody
not,
now.
we need to make it one.
they did the Pride and Prejudice in zombies. That
I
so like
actually like that movie. That was pretty good.
so like Pride and Prejudice. That's like the boring whatever, you know, kind of. It's like your typical. You read it in high school, whatever.
Okay.
Like what is it, Victorian like romance or something. I think it was. But somebody rewrote it to just randomly be during the zombie apocalypse. So it still tells pretty much the same story, but there's also zombies.
I love Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It's such a stupid
That
movie.
was a good movie, though.
I like that movie.
Yeah, that's that one. Was
Every
good
movie
too.
can be made better just by adding zombies.
Or vampires. Or vampires.
Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
Just add zombies to any
zombie
of it.
Mufasa.
That would be pretty sick, though. James Earl Jones as a dead guy.
Well,
He's just half fallen.
Disney, you hear this right now because we know you're listening.
Disney's listening.
Disney's always
Probably
listening.
paying attention.
It's like the NSA and Disney, so they're both listening all the time.
But Disney's probably higher on the totem pole than the
They have-
NSA is.
They have more money.
They do, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Disney, get on it. Zombie Mufasa. I'm
Zombie
telling you.
Mufasa,
Just
Zombie
Stop doing
Gaston.
these stupid live action, whatever they are. I can't stand those movies.
I can't either, but
You fucking...
it is hilarious to watch people upset online every time they cast anybody in anything.
They're not even they're not even casting people. They're just like it's all just like animated. It's CG. It pisses me off. It's too real for me.
Fucking...
It's too just get a real lion. Get a real lion to act at that point.
I feel like that would go in a completely different way than what
It
they
would be a better movie.
It'd be a much shorter movie.
It'd be awesome.
Circle of Life be all of 15 seconds.
Now watch as the lion stalks his prey in the night.
Why does everybody that does that, like, they all have British accents in it?
Because that's like the classic like animal documentary voice.
British?
I can't remember. It's Nigel Thornberry was based on I can't remember the name of the guy, but it's that same voice. It's don't look at me like that.
We somehow got to Nigel Thornberry.
Listen, if you can't bring it back around to Nigel Thornberry, what are you doing?
I mean, I
Is
heard
that
it
the
was
one from... Which one's Nigel Thornberry?
He's the one with the big red mustache from
Is that from
the
the-
Wild
Yeah,
Thornberries.
from the Nickelodeon show?
Yeah.
But of all the Nickelodeon characters you could have thought of, it went back to
I'd
Nigel
have went with
He's
Steve
the most
or
meme worthy,
No.
except for maybe
who you
SpongeBob.
were talking about.
I'd went with
Literally,
Bug or something.
there is no image in my head of a Nigel Thornberry.
I'll see if I
What?
can find
born
one.
yet, okay? Jesus.
Wait, how old are you? You probably make me say. You said 18?
Well, time to go home.
Fine, I'm sorry.
He wasn't lying. There is no signal in here at all.
Told you.
Well, you shall go wanting then.
It could be worse. Could be cocaine, remember?
Oh God. Back to cocaine. Full circle. This is how this works.
So, we're going to name this episode Nigel Thornberry and His Adventures Through Cocaine.
You know what? Try some crack cocaine.
Walk forward.
Cocaine's only bad if you overdose.
I mean, I just look back at like David Bowie and like Steven Tyler, who Steven Tyler supposedly heard an Aerosmith song on the radio, didn't know it was his own song, and said, "Wow, that's a really good song," and the other guys were like, "That's us." But David Bowie takes the cake because supposedly David Bowie recorded Station to Station, and during the time for like a year or so leading up to it, he was doing nothing but doing a bunch of coke, smoking a bunch of cigarettes, and then living off of like sweet peppers and milk. That was all he consumed.
Seems like a good combination to me.
Yeah. And then he recorded Station to Station, and he supposedly doesn't remember recording it. He supposedly doesn't even like, the only reason he knew it was recorded in LA, I think it was because he had read about it. I mean, he doesn't even remember being in LA at this time.
Milk does mess with your memories.
So, if that's not a PSA against cocaine,
It's the milk.
It's the milk.
Calcium makes your bones grow, but it fucks with your brain. Like, your short-term memory's gone every time you drink 2%, I'm telling you.
So the moral of the story is cocaine makes you rich, just not
whole
very
milk.
You
smart.
gotta go with the whole milk or almond milk. There's no in between.
That's healthy fats.
The moral of the story, cocaine makes you rich. Is that what you said?
I said cocaine makes you rich and famous, just not very
Drugs
smart.
are cool. Drugs are cool. Let's just be honest.
That's what the DARE program was really about.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. They don't do that anymore.
Drugs
It
are
was
really
a fail. It was
excellent.
an epic fail.
That's fair.
You smoke so much marijuana now.
But it's not a drug. That's what you're telling us. It's not a drug, Ossifer. I'm fine. I can drive home. He's like over here. He's still looking. I'm good.
Like, son, who are you talking to? I'm over here.
I'm going to jail, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to come with me.
Did we talk about... Okay, so the show at Skylark.
Yes.
We're back. We're back now. Who are you playing with?
I do not 100% remember.
Oh God, I'd have to.
I have
David
to look
Bowie?
at it. That would be so creepy. Isn't he dead?
I think
Go,
so, yeah.
Ghost /
I was
hologram
like,
David
I think
Bowie.
he is. I was like, I think
You know,
Because
that's a good
it's changed like since the original lineup was decided.
Yeah.
Because a couple bands had to back out, and one band broke up. That was like Mutt was going to be on that show too. And
Oh
then
yeah, I
they
forgot
broke
about
up.
that.
So we have to go back and find out.
They definitely broke up though.
I
Added
guess
color,
so. Added color,
Last second legacy.
and they just got added. Because I knew about added color, but I didn't know about the other one. So I'm guessing sitting right there is where all the signal comes in on the phone. Okay, cool. That's what I see.
Yeah, it's like specifically there's a corner like right here.
Yeah,
It
like,
cuts
once you
off.
get past this,
I put in some
These
stuff
right
so it
here.
cuts off signal here.
I see why you like that Ted Bundy documentary so much. There's no way to call for help now.
That door doesn't actually work.
it doesn't. It's
That's
actually
painted?
decor.
Well,
That is actually just a painted picture.
Remember,
There's
you
no
don't have to be
windows
the
there.
fastest. You have to be faster than the slowest person.
listen, I was gonna say you just take off running. I'll get the keys ready.
Okay.
By the time we get to the
the
car,
keys
we'll be
ready.
fine.
What do you mean get the keys ready? What, you gotta bake them? Just throw
I gotta get them out of my pocket.
Jeez, I just want to get this big order.
But that's gonna be a fun show. I've actually listened to a lot of Added Color since they messaged us to be on the show, so they're gonna be really cool.
What genre ish?
They're alternative also, but not like us. It's the only way to put it is different. There's no other way to
Yeah,
describe
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's just
Yeah, well, that's because alternative is such an
Yeah,
all-encompassing.
such an all-inclusive term.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, I think are they a little bit more indie, or am I thinking
They're a little bit more indie.
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
remember how the Dirty Lowdown Stars sounded when they first heard them? Well, how they still sound.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
they
do
haven't
they sound
changed.
different?
They sound like they're very similar to them.
Oh, okay.
If you've heard
like,
it, I don't know if you've heard of the Dirty Lowdown there.
Oh, it sounds really familiar, but
kind of like Dirty Lowdown's like mathy, but like not like it's not like towards like progressive-y metal-y. It's like mathy, almost kind of funky vibe
Okay.
to it, but with like
So like
just
Miles
rock.
the Bear, maybe.
Yeah, more in that vein for
That like
sure.
that. That works. He's on
a
point
lot
with it.
better than me.
I was gonna say that was good. He
I just
took my
showed
nonsense
this.
spew and actually like converted it.
And
Like,
didn't
oh,
even
like
think
this.
about it. Just
Yeah.
didn't break stride in the conversation. So minus the bear. All right, so 500 points over here.
Like, I have no clue what you're talking about. I just go,
Just
yeah,
nod your head.
Just-
yeah, I gotcha. I
Yeah,
getcha.
No one will ever ask you your opinion if you just, yeah, I got you. Just smile and yeah.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Did you guys put that show together, or
They did. They actually messaged us for that one.
which?
Added Color. They
Oh,
messaged-
Added Color,
Yeah,
okay.
they had messaged because they're from, I think they're from Tennessee also.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so they messaged us and it's like, hey, she heard of you guys through the Dirty Lowdown because we become really good friends with them.
All right.
So they asked the Dirty Lowdown if they knew any bands. They asked us. I send a message to them like I do every other thing we have a show with. I just send a date like, hey, are you free this date?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, yeah. Cool. And so that's how most of our shows get booked.
Hey, you're free this day now, right?
I would love to
Not
do
a
that,
question.
but our drummer goes to like a wedding every 3 days. So
Sweet.
it's...
He's like the busiest person ever.
In the
He's
his-
like
Is he a wedding singer or something?
He might be. Like, have you ever seen like the old 90s TV shows where like the guy of the family would just be doing all types of activities, like just stuff you would never even think of. Like, I'm going to build like popsicle snow houses with underprivileged kids on a Thursday. And then he'll say it like in...
Is that me?
He'll say it in casual conversation.
Am I the person?
It's like, and it's just like... Just something you would never think of. Like, hey, I would love to, but, I had to bake a couple of turkeys, and we're actually going to take it down and give it to people at the mall.
what?
Who? But that's the kind of...
It's April. Why are you making turkeys? I don't understand.
And it's like, Dave is the person that we all want to be. That's just what he's that type of person that we all want to be, but it's like, you know what? I don't have that type of patience.
Yeah, I'm too tired. I don't have enough energy.
I don't do the nice stuff. I do just random shit. I
Like-
disappear. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm
What
gonna
was
be
it
down
like
this
the other?
day.
We played a show, and then he was running a marathon the next morning.
It was not a marathon. It was like a 5K.
Okay, whatever, but
Close enough.
it was
I'm
the
running.
show at Tommy's where we ended at 1:00, and he had to wake up at 5 to go run a 5K
Oh, yeah,
with
I
his
do
students, and
remember
I'm
that.
like, dude, you
Was he
are.
a teacher?
He's a teacher.
Fuck.
Yeah,
exactly.
He is humanitarian of the decade. Like, you woke up at 5
You
to
don't
go,
have time to write drum parts.
but it still has them on deck whenever we
Yeah,
show for practice.
exactly.
It's like, when do you have time to do any of this? It's like, I'm going to a wedding. Didn't you
Is
just
he
go to a
married?
wedding?
No.
No.
Okay. I was about to say.
Might as well be, but
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
we're just waiting on that wedding. That's
Yeah.
That's the one I understand that he has to go to because it's
Well,
his.
How old is he too? Because
29.
Okay, yeah. I guess. See all of his friends get married.
Yeah, it's just, it's that time, but it's...
Just give him a couple years.
I'm trying to remember, what is it, like 14 weddings,
Yeah,
I
14
think, over the
weddings in
course
like
of like a
a
year and a
year.
half or something. It was just insane.
It's like a running joke we have now. If you hang out with David, you're gonna get married eventually. Like, soon. It's just gonna happen soon.
Anyway, that guy's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish he was here. We miss you,
Like,
David.
he's smiley too.
Not Ned Flanders smiley, but he's a very happy person.
Okay.
He's like Ned Flanders with common sense. let's go with that. Is there any other way to describe his?
You know what?
smile?
I'm not gonna say anything because I don't have words.
Wait, he's not gonna kick you out of his house.
No, I'm not. I don't even. Like, I feel like I should be saying something in response to that, but I don't know what to say. So
He's a happy person. Like, there's people where you think they act happy, but you can tell it's fake. With him, you can tell it's like, okay, he's just a genuinely happy person.
yeah,
Like when we first met you, like most people don't hug you as soon as they open the door.
that's fair. That is fair. Yeah. Yeah. No, David's definitely by far the most like sane, normal one of us all.
it's- So if they ever make a documentary about us, he's probably gonna get the boring person that gets cast because they're like, oh, he's just a normal, sane individual. I'll be the guy, like, even though I can't swim, jumping in the fucking pool 10 feet head first.
Can't swim, right? Thank you. Some people can't swim.
Exactly. I'm not a dog. Like, I'm not born with it. And then
Thank you.
they tell you that fat floats. That's bullshit. Because when I was in high school, it took 7 lifeguards to get me out of that pool, and they were all like puny women. So my brother's like, he pushes me and he's like, "Oh, you're fine. Just it floats." So I'm like sinking to the bottom, like waving at the fucking highlight, and she's like, "Oh, just come back up." If I could, I would.
You think I would do that?
I
right
wouldn't
now?
just sit down here.
Yeah.
So I'm like panicking. So you just hear the whistle. They all like dive in, and of course she can't get me by herself. So it's like I just got hit by an octopus. Just
See, I've had, what was it, the 4th. We're out at the lake, and they're telling me, like, 4 women are like, "You can swim." I'm like, no, I can't. Trust me. You take... I had a life jacket on, and I was still going down. Like, you don't understand.
I'm beginning to think it's just you two.
if I can't stand up in the water, I'm not getting in it. Like it has to be like right here, because I'm a tall person. I'm 6'2", but if it goes anywhere past my arm, I'm good.
Nope.
I'm good. Nope. I'm not getting in that.
Like you had a life jacket on. How do you sink with a life jacket? Was it like for like a 4-year-old?
It was a adult
See how upset he got? His voice just went up 4
adult
octaves.
male life jacket. My legs were like legitimately being pulled down, and I'm like, fuck.
Man.
Like grabbing the paddleboard, I'm like, fuck.
I have lots more questions, but we're gonna move on.
Dude,
I don't
can't
e-
ride a fucking bike either, dude.
I can ride a bike, but I learned that later in life too.
Actually,
I mean,
like,
cars are better.
they're motorized.
yeah, but like I couldn't drive a car when I was 8, so
I mean, I didn't learn how to ride a bike till I was 13. So.
I didn't have a bike, so I never learned.
So I think you're just delayed. I think that's what it is. JJ, you.
So, when is the swimming part coming in? Because we're 3
more
decades in on that one. So.
5 more years.
Let's see.
It's exponential.
The starter Pokemon evolve at what, like 36, I think. So that sounds pretty good.
So 30. Did you bring up Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seemed
Charizard,
relevant.
Come on.
I mean, but Pokemons can swim, except for the fire ones.
Charizard.
Yeah, I don't think Charizard. Well, actually, he might be able to
He
swim
might
as
be
long
able
as
to-
he keeps his tail up. He's fine.
The tail
We-
might go out.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like,
He dies.
yeah, if the fire
Okay.
goes out on his tail, he dies.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I
Didn't
never
know that
really
part,
got into
bro.
Pokemon.
Let's do it.
It was big when I was in 6th grade. That's when Pokemon
Yeah.
first hit. I'm the grandpa of the band, according to them, even though
He's 45.
I'm not 45. I can say that much.
I'm not 45
His
either.
name is also Matt. Sorry. One last time.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
It was the last time, alright?
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Last time.
Yeah, no, this is Grandpa JJ.
I'm literally less than a year older than David, but they act like he's fucking 18 just because I'm 30. Now I'm, oh, you're the old guy, man. Just gonna point out, Mick Mars was 30 when they first started Motley Crue. Look how that worked out.
Do
for him.
not get me started on McMars.
He has a skeletal disease. I will give him. He's also the most sane of the 4 of them.
I mean, that I can't argue with. He is definitely the most sane.
I give him a pass. He lost 3 inches of height. Like, how would you feel if you woke up tomorrow? You were 6'1".
My clothes would fit better, that's for sure.
I mean, I'd be fine if I woke up and I was 6'1". I'm 5'9". I'd be fine with it.
I could
Well, you would be 5'6".
I could finally shop for pants like a normal person.
Go back to Baby Gap.
Baby Gap fits everything. Oshkosh bagosh.
Now all I can think of is like 2005, 2006 era Warped Tour where everybody's like wearing like youth large t-shirts.
I've literally never been able to fit a youth large t-shirt. Like I was born wearing like a 2X
Oh,
jersey.
yeah, no. You don't remember that? It was like before like all the slim fit band shirts came out, so all the shirts were just like really tiny, like almost like kid sizes. It was
They
really
were
weird.
kids'
I remember
shirts.
they were
Yeah.
kids' shirts. Like
Large. It's like walking into Walmart and the boys section.
Yeah.
anything, I avoid anything. As soon as I see the word slim in clothes, I'm like, it's not gonna
worn
work.
a child's, like, in the past few years, I've worn a child's shirt, and it fit me. So, you know what?
Like are we talking like fit in like Incredible Hulk like rip out if I move, or like
Like an adult medium on me. I was like, Oh, okay.
Well,
Ever wore kids' clothes.
Never.
Even when I was a baby.
I was like wearing my dad's suits at 6 months. I was like,
hey, I'm like picturing a 6-month-old in a suit right now.
It's pretty nice.
it's just a good cut. That's what it is. Don't need to get it
Get
hemmed
that
at all.
Taylor?
Yeah, let me get the number of your tailor. This is great.
But anybody that's like, when I see people like, oh, I wear an extra small. It's like, how? I guess it's a genetic thing, I guess. Because my whole family's big. Like, I'm the shortest of all the boys in my family, which annoys me, but whatever.
Short stuff over here.
I'm not short. I'm just shorter than him.
Still bigger than me.
What was it you sent me the other day? Do not argue with the elevated one.
Yeah, do not. Because like my older brother's almost 6'5", and my younger brother's like 6'3.5", and I'm just hitting 6'2". Like even my dad was taller than me until he got old. Now he's like shrinking. So sorry,
Sad.
Dad, but
Sad days.
I'm taller than him now, so that works.
Take you.
Probably, hopefully.
My family's the same way though. I'm the tallest, but like my dad and my brother are only like an inch or two shorter than me, and then my mom's like 5'6". So it's just like 3 giants and my mom. Sorry, Mom.
It happens. But if your mom was like 6'5", that'd be fucking awesome.
That would be insane.
Like every time I see her, I was like, yo, I wonder if I just want to see her like dunk on somebody. Like whenever I see somebody tall, it's like, yo, I just want to see you just run up and just.
Dude, at the movie theater last night, this girl was. How tall do you think that girl was? That we got the water from?
She's probably my height.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 6'2".
I was like, fuck. Like, you're so much taller than me.
He's like, and I like it.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm thinking about future generation. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
that's an athlete right there.
That's good genes.
Worst case scenario, you
You're
get
going
a
straight to the top.
you get a Sean Bradley. Worst case scenario, you get dunked on for $20 million. I'll let somebody dunk in my face for $20 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even like a disrespectful dunk.
Oh, I don't care. You can
Like,
dunk on
just
me
like-
naked for $20 million. I don't care. I don't care. $20 million. You can strip down. I'll still stand right there.
Only got to do it once.
Just take it right to the face.
They recorded, put it on TV. Breaking news at Sports Center. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know how did we get there.
It's the name of our album. How did we end up here? And it's all full circle.
Check out our album on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere else you can find stuff.
Stuff, like literally just stuff.
Stuff and things.
Oh, we're speaking of that promotion and stuff.
Wait, I'm getting a promotion?
Yeah, you get a promotion.
Yes!
To
All you
customer.
have to do is describe where people can find you.
On Facebook, facebook.com, Who is Swamp78. Instagram, same, Who is Swamp78. YouTube channel, Who is Swamp78. Spotify, Apple Music. What was that? It's just
Gnats
Swamp78.
just appeared out
Yeah,
of
there's
nowhere.
gnats.
Like
They're here
yesterday. I was doing a podcast and they just showed up. Like, what the fuck?
They knew that you're leaving. That's what they knew you're moving. So it's like, oh, we show up now.
Come on, what works?
No.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. Swamp78 for all the music websites, stream everything else. Social media is Who is Swamp78.
What was the name of the EP again?
How did we end up here?
Oh, that is the name?
That is the name.
Shit.
That's
Oh,
literally
God.
the name.
Okay,
How did we
okay.
end up here?
Yeah.
People always think we're kidding when we say it's like this.
I thought
Literally
you were
called.
joking.
It's called How did we end up here?
With a new, how do you just, what's it called again?
A narwhal.
Narwhal.
Yeah,
A
on
narwhal.
the cover of the CD is a narwhal.
Unicorn of the sea.
It's just a whale with a fucking horn on it. That's
cool.
I want to.
Well, yeah, you say that now. Wait until you get speared by one.
I don't think I'm gonna say it's any cooler if I get speared by a narwhal.
You might.
I would. That's a cool
like-
way to go. That's
like-
a cool way to go down. If I'm going down,
I don't think Steve Irwin was happy when the stingray.
Well, that
got
wasn't
in
a
his chest.
stingray. That was a stingray, not a narwhal.
You guys are boring.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to get speared by any animal. Let alone one with like a fucking 9-foot horn coming at us with his forehead.
See, I'm good with going down, but that's how I'm going down. That story's going on
as long as
CNN, it's going on Fox News. Got it.
As long as I survive, I'll take it. Like, that would be a badass score. I was like, I got speared by a freaking narwhal.
I don't think it's just going through your arm. Like, it's probably going to be like through your armpit, coming out the other side of your neck.
I said as long as I survive.
It's going to be like a Mortal Kombat fatality. You're just going to start hearing the music playing. Doom, doom, doom.
Just rips right through you.
Finish him.
And then the first thing I say is like, well, we need a new singer. Time to put up an ad.
Auditions next week.
Must not be able to swim so they can avoid narwhals.
If you can't swim, message us on Facebook so I can get some support. I'm tired of him talking about how I can't swim.
He's going to start a support group. I'm going to laugh at all of you in one spot.
I'm going to call it Humans Don't Have Gills. There's no reason for me to be underneath the water.
Except for I want to surf. So.
I just want to point out that whales, dolphins, none of them have gills either.
Yeah, but they jump out of the water to breathe. They can also hold their breath way longer.
Humans do the same thing.
If I was a killer whale, I'd be fine with it because I could just eat the shark. But I'm not getting in the water.
There's not sharks in your pool.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
You don't know that. You don't know what I've been...
Is your pool at the aquarium?
You don't know... Again, you don't know what I've been doing with my time off. I've been on vacation.
You know what? I want to ask, but at the same time, the part of me that's like...
If you ask, now you have to be a witness in the trial when I get caught.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm out.
Ted Bundy. My man. My man.
Oh, come on.
Okay, you got show Thursday. Anything else in the books?
August 17th, we're taking a break for a month. August 17th, we're playing at Hattie's for Mad Park Music Fest.
Where's Hattie's?
It's in Charlotte also. Off the plaza.
It's kind of close to Noda and Plaza Midwood, like in between the two. It's like a cool little bar. They got like Super Nintendos and stuff like that. Yeah, you can play some Mario Kart while you're having a drink and listen to some music. So come on out. JJ will race you in Mario Kart.
I will do that. I'll probably lose, but I'll still race you. And October 4th, we are playing Carolina Uprising, the festival that they're starting this year.
Yeah, big festival over in, I think it's the Rowan County Fairgrounds.
I think it's right there. Like the ticket says Salisbury, but I guess it's
that's Rowan
County.
So.
Salisbury's like north of Charlotte, right?
Yeah,
a little bit north of that. Like
I guess like it's right before Greensboro, like the.
No, it's not that far up. It's like I don't know, maybe half an hour north of Charlotte on 85. So not too far.
Not too far.
Come hang out. There's going to be tons of awesome bands. I'm trying to remember, like pretty much
Something Clever is playing. I think Falling Through April, Reason to Find, which is on the shirt. They're playing. Den of Wolves. Shout out Tristan Khalil. They're playing.
Shit, I saw that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I like that.
I love those guys.
I saw them at Kaboom in Garner.
Yeah, I remember that show. I just didn't make it out to that show. Like I found them by accident. Like I was going to another show. It got canceled. The person I was going with, he's like, "Let's go watch Den of Wolves." I'm like, I don't know who that is. So,
Yeah.
But if you're paying, let's go. And then I go in there and it's like, oh, this is fucking awesome. So, and they're like two of the coolest people that I've ever met. And their drummer too. That's fucking cool.
The drummer hits hard.
Because he's like a church drummer, but it's like he goes into a complete alter ego when he gets on stage.
He's just smashing the drums like, dude, you're gonna break those real quick.
Hey man, break them. Break all of them.
Yeah, tons of awesome people. I mean,
that's the really cool thing about the Charlotte scene. Is like there's a lot of bands that support each other. Like you don't really see that in other places.
Reason Divine was saying.
It's like they've come to some of our shows. Like you go to their shows, you'll find literally at least one member of every Charlotte band will be at one of their shows.
Yeah.
It's like Something Clever. You go their album release, literally everybody's there. Like,
yeah, Reason to Find's album release. Everybody was there. The show we played at Amos's with Steel Standing. Everybody was there.
Fear Until Fury they're really awesome also. So. But,
Something Clever. Did they just release an album? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they did. Was it February? They did a dual release.
Yeah,
it was
like a dual EP kind of thing.
Okay.
One in February. One if I'm wrong on the dates, sorry. I think it was February 1st and March 1st, and then they did like the album release show, which was pretty cool.
I saw them. They were playing a show at the Maywood. I had heard about them. I don't know how I'd heard about them, but someone had told me probably.
They've been around for a few years, I think.
They've been around for a while, since 2013.
Yeah. They a couple of their a song or something was on like WWE or something.
Yeah, one of their songs was actually on.
And I think one was on like Ninja Turtles, whatever the show is on like
Nickelodeon
or something.
Like, that one was funny because I watch Ninja Turtles. It is what it is. I grew up with it. So like they were doing like the preview for the next episode, and then I'm not paying attention. I'm just listening, and then I hear the song, but I'm like, I'm not playing my Spotify. What's going on? So I look up, and it's just like, "We'll rise, never fall." I'm like, that's their song. I'm like, oh, that is fucking crazy.
How does that happen?
I don't know if it happens to me. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
If it ever happens to me, I will let you know how it happens.
Okay, thank you.
That's my goal.
I got a pretty good feeling our music is not going to be good. Got a pretty good feeling on that one.
But a lot of the bands that I found in Charlotte, you really just find them by, I won't say by accident, it's just you stumble across. Like Reason to Find, I first heard them, I was listening to a Dollskin song on YouTube, and then in the recommendation, you just see like
the reason you stayed.
I don't think it said the reason you stayed at the time, but they're gonna kill you for that.
They're not gonna be happy about that.
Bring it.
And like
we'll see you
in the video, you just see like 5 different colored hair. I'm like, you know what? That is the most interesting thing I've seen in a while. Let's go see what this is. And it's just like you just don't. It hits you in the face. You don't expect for it to be that like. God damn! What the fuck? Okay, I'm listening. Just keep going. Keep going. And before you know it, you've listened to the entire album 17 times in a row. You haven't done any work all day.
Yeah, it's really cool. Charlotte's really cool because like we're in. Well, I mean, like we've done stuff in the past. Like you were in a band that was pretty good, pretty popular back in several years ago. And I had done stuff for a while, like when I was in high school, right out of high school. But like we hadn't been in the scene, and we've only been playing.
A year as of August.
Yeah, so not even been a year playing in the scene right now. So it's just been, I mean, super welcoming and just awesome to see. I've never, like, even back then when Charlotte's scene was a little bit more popping, like, it was just nowhere near the level of support that it is now.
Like, I would say the people and the bands make the scene, not the venues.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause places close, places open.
Yeah.
That just happens. But
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you have like a staple venue, like there are some iconic venues.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you might have one in one major city in the country, or in the state.
Right.
Like, the venue really isn't. It's the people.
For sure.
Because you'll have like one of our friends, Spencer, he goes to literally every single type of show you could think of. He'll be at a Reason to Find show. He'll be at a Den of Wolves show. He'll be at a Falling Through April show or Something Clever show. And it's like people like that keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool to see that. Because you don't see that everywhere. Like I used to live in Georgia in high school, and I used to go to shows all the time. And it would be like the metal people stay with the metal people. The rock people stay with the rock people. The folk people stay with the folk people. Mm-hmm. Me, I just want to go to a show. I don't care.
Yeah. I just like good music.
Like
I don't care.
And at some point, your favorite band was a local act. So... Mm-hmm. I will go to any local show out there.
Oh, I was saying it yesterday on the podcast. I was like, I don't even go to I don't really go to national acts anymore unless it's like a local band playing with them, and I like pick up a ticket off the local band.
Yeah, that it would have to be like a band I really, really like. Because out of my top 3, the only ones I haven't seen are top 5. The only ones I haven't seen are Aerosmith. Don't think that's happening. And Foo Fighters. I want to see Foo Fighters. Like I will pay to go see.
Yeah,
Foo
you're
Fighters.
gonna pay.
That's the one band where I don't care. I'll pay to go see that.
Notice me, Dave Grohl. Senpai.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna rush the stage and hug him like he's Michael Jackson in the '90s. But I'm
Dude,
also not saying that.
If you met Dave Grohl, you would rush him, hug him, and probably cry.
Okay, first of all, I'm not doing two of those things. One, the crap.
Would you pay for VIP to meet him? If they were.
How much we talking? Because I'm a very cheap person.
I imagine it would be very expensive.
I'm a really, really, really cheap person. Like, he'll tell you it's to the point of ridiculousness. Like,
Wait, we're watching Ridiculous?
We are. Every time I spend money on anything, and my mind immediately goes like, there's $3.74 you'll never get back. Which is a very weird way to think about it, but I am just that cheap. So I'll pay to go to the show. I may sneak into the VIP. I feel like I could probably take about 2 or 3 security guards before they finally get me down. So I'm going to get my picture off.
Yeah, I'm
going to get that picture.
Man, do you remember the security guard? I think he used to work at Amos's, back when it was the full...
Brian? The guy who was 6'9"?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That guy he was the coolest, nicest person you ever... But he's just 6'9", built like fucking Brock Lesnar. But when you talk to him, he's just like, hey, how you doing?
He's super.
He is a soft-spoken, really, really chill guy. But if you look, it's like that dude would rip my neck off like a Pez dispenser.
I remember going to a show at 14 or 15 and seeing this dude checking tickets and stuff, walking in. I'm just like, okay.
I wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know.
So you're from Georgia. Are you from Charlotte?
I am.
I'm actually from Charlotte.
Oh, you're from Charlotte?
Yeah, I was born in D.C., moved to Charlotte when I was a year old. I was pretty much raised here, but I only lived in Georgia for high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a phony.
A big fat phony.
I'm actually originally from Kentucky in a town called Paducah. It's
Paducah.
It's an interesting name, but it's hour and a half north of Nashville.
Right.
So, but we moved to Mooresville, but Charlotte area when I was 10, and I've pretty much lived here ever since. So, basically honorary Charlottean.
The way I see it is, where did you actually grow up at? That's where I say that's where you're from. Because with you, it's weird though, because it's half and half. You spent the first 10 years in Kentucky, then the next.
I would sooner claim North Carolina as my home than Kentucky.
I feel like that's for other reasons.
I mean, I would claim North Carolina as my home over Iowa. I've been here for 3 years.
But there's not a lot to do in Iowa.
You're right.
So, actually, my bass teacher's from Iowa. The guy who taught me how to play bass, who's ironically his name's Matt. He's from Iowa, but he's a diehard Iowa Hawk fan of everything.
Hawkeyes, Cyclones, screw them all.
Yeah, sports ball.
Yeah, because I'm always interested to hear about the scenes in different areas. So last night or yesterday we were talking about the scene in Richmond, Virginia, and that kind of thing. What do you because you just went to Spartanburg. Have you guys been playing primarily Charlotte, then just around?
Charlotte, that general area? That was actually the first time we went out of town for it. If you can call an hour away out of town, that's the first time we actually had an out of town show.
Yeah,
we've been looking into doing that more. It's harder. With A, you got to line up everybody's schedule. And B, it's
tough to get in there.
Getting the gear there. It's not unfair because most of the time, if you go anywhere past an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're all going to have to ride together. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to get a trailer. You got to find out how much to rent a trailer. You got drums you got to carry. You got 2 guitars, 2 basses, 2 more guitars, amps. So we want to. We want to make sure that you can do it before you do, because you don't want to just rush out there and then now you're stuck on the side of the road because your Kia didn't make it there.
I take personal offense to that. My Kia made it to Raleigh just fine, okay?
I drive a Kia also. It's okay.
Those hamsters were kicking it.
So you take that drum kit and you break it down even smaller. You don't get to take all your stuff.
That's another good thing about him, though. He does not have an over-the-top big drum kit. It was a 5-piece?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
2-time snare for. Yeah.
It's crazy what you can do.
Yeah, like
I mean, like, I remember, I think it was, I mean, a lot of the guys, like, it was always the people that were, like, really killing it that was like, oh, yeah, I've got, like, 4-piece, 5-piece. And then the guys that were, like, not hardly doing anything were the ones that were, like, overcompensating
I've
with
seen
all
a
their
13-piece drum set once.
Except for, I will say, one of the first shows I ever saw was Trivium way back in the day, and that dude had
shit.
like a Neil Peart style drum kit and just slaughters with
But
it.
he also has a crew to pick, like to, to carry it for him. So
have you seen their latest drummer?
I don't think I have.
I have not.
Dude's crazy good, but just a massive kit he's playing on. He makes use of it. He actually makes use of all.
That I'll say, if you have the huge drum kit, if you're hitting all the drum kits, then all good. But if you have like a 10-piece kit and you're just sitting there with a, it's like, well, what's the other piece? That's just for show. But like me, I don't use my like a head and cab anymore. I just got tired of carrying it, so I just plug direct.
Okay, yeah.
It's the easiest thing in the world. Like I'm about to buy a Line 6 Helix and just like program it because I love orange amps. Yeah. So I'm just gonna program it to an orange sound and just go with it. It's just like we all drove out to Spartanburg. I was like, okay, we got to set up. Normally, setup for me takes forever just because you had all the amps and shit you got to carry. So me was just like, okay, plugged in to my DI box and
just saves your back.
I'm good to go.
Oh yeah.
And you don't realize how much you use your back until you heard it.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard my back so many times.
Yeah, we got to get Ben on board though, because like he's rocking his DI. He's talking about doing a Helix situation. I'm using a Kemper, and Ben is rocking out this like badass vintage Vox AC30.
But all of his gear is like vintage.
And,
like it's...
Yeah, he's got the craziest collection of stuff. Like stuff that's like I would be afraid to play it because it's like that old.
Okay, yeah.
But it's crazy stuff. But man,
was he giving it for free?
I think
it's one of his superpowers.
Yes, there you go.
I think he like inherited a bunch of, but like the sitars, that's still the funniest thing to me. Like he just randomly's like, yeah, I got a sitar from somebody at work. And I was like,
what?
I have follow-up questions. Like, how did that come about? Like,
why?
A,
who had a sitar?
Yeah. A, why did they have a sitar? And B,
why do you now have it?
But yeah, so he's got all this cool old stuff, but like that Fox thing is like 70, 80 pounds, something like that. It's insane.
Just get a quick little workout in while you're loading it up.
No, I ain't trying to do all that. I spent too much money on this gut right here.
How do you like the Kemper?
I like it a lot. No, it's really awesome. I mean, it's one of those things like, if you have one sound and you're pretty much going to use that one sound, like you might be fine like using just one amp. But like I was running like a crazy pedal board and like having to switch between stuff, and then I was looking at like solutions to like program the pedal board and do all that, and I was like, no, this is doing too much. So I got the Kemper, and just, I mean, the ease of being able to just hit one button, change your sound completely is just great. And then with I mean, if you want to try something different, you just go out there and see if somebody's like recorded it and loaded it in. So I mean, it's just about endless what you can do with it. I mean, there's some limitations, but I mean, you can get a mic and program it to sound like whatever amp you have at home. So as long as you know how to dial it in, that's
the key.
Being able to do it properly.
I think, I mean, some of the effects maybe are a little bit lacking as opposed to like what a real nice pedal could do, but for generalized like normal stuff, I don't see how you can get much better for a for a gigging situation.
I just see it a lot now.
Oh yeah,
I think a lot of people like the line 6, or the Kemper. A lot of people are moving that. It's just
easier to you don't have to carry all that extra stuff.
I'm not trying to carry around my big cab anymore.
I don't blame you.
No one is.
I have to move all this stuff every time we go practice.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just like, I'm out.
And the person
I'm done.
moves everything apparently. So, no. Okay, so August 17th.
17th, yeah.
And it's at not Skylark. It's
Hattie's. Yes.
Hattie's. And then when was the
festival? October 4th.
October 4th. Okay.
Yeah, and I think we might line up something else in between there.
Yeah, we're thinking about just a matter of if we can get this album written.
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to get a fish written and then record.
Yeah.
Everything that goes into that. And then
it's a lot, but it's fun though. So.
Oh yeah.
Does the one guy master it?
He does everything.
Yeah.
Like he mixes, masters, records. Like he is like a fucking transformer. Like we had everything. We were pretty much not organized at all walking in there, and he had it all 3 days just ready to go. And I was like, well. He just made us feel professional. It was like he did it like he had a record label breathing down his neck, like, yo, you gotta have this done by now. So, like, shout out to Rob. He's professional as crap and makes you feel like you're way more important than you really are.
It's like some kids never played a show before ever, and not ever, but not in this band, and we go in there and just it was awesome, awesome experience.
Is he DI mic everything up?
He mic'd up me and David. I don't know what he did with.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, he does stuff the old-fashioned way. Real direct mics. With Mike Kemper, just because at that time I was the only guitarist, so we did a combination of direct out and mic'd, and and multi tracks and all kinds of stuff. But it came out really, really well, I think.
Oh yeah, dude. I always wonder because when we did my old band, when we did ours, we did DI and everything. And then I'm like, nah, I want it mic'd. Like that's what I want to do. So I'm very, very adamant about that now. I didn't know anything when I first did this.
Program all the drums. Program bass, guitar. Just program it all.
Oh, I know. I knew 0, and now I know 1.
I'm
hoping
like
to
at
get
a half.
2 sometime soon.
Me, just tell me where to plug in my bass and which way the crowd is. And face that way, and then we're good to go.
If you can't figure that out,
hey, I'm here to play bass and say jokes in between songs.
And sell merch.
So that's what I'm the merch guy. That's what I do.
Do you guys have a lot of merch, or
we do? We actually have a few designs. We actually have a couple more that I need to talk to you about that we're gonna be having soon. Shout out to Kelly for RK T-shirts. She actually does our
R. Kelly?
Yeah, not R. Kelly. RK T-shirts, and the girl is Kelly. 2 different things. R. Kelly is not making our T-shirts. There'd be so much pee on it.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
A yellow shirt, that's an interesting choice.
I don't want to
These
get
were
a T-shirt.
white when we bought them.
I don't want to get a T-shirt from R. Kelly. I'm just going to throw that out there. But they do our shirts. They always come out pretty sick.
What was it again?
RK T-shirts in Cornelius. And Kelly, who's actually in Something Clever. She does, yes.
Is that the guitarist?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
the guitarist. She's badass.
Yeah. She is.
Yeah.
And she went to high school with your wife, which was a random fact I found out.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, I went to high school with her. And I was like, what?
And then she walked away.
And that was pretty much the end of it. But yeah, all our shirts come out really awesome, and Kelly's a badass, and so just a fan of girls and bands in general.
There's a shirt that says, I forget what the band was. What was they called again? The Reason You Stayed is what you said.
I think.
They're gonna kill us now too. We're gonna get like blacklisted in Charlotte. We're like, nobody's gonna want to play with this.
He threatened me. I had to say
it. Real Ted Bundy now.
You gotta get the mustache.
I'm trying. It's so hard.
You gotta get the unibrow too, though.
I don't think I can go that one.
I was like, Like either you have that or you don't. There's no like.
Tried.
You can't just pour like Rogaine right here.
I don't know. Have you tried?
I've not tried to pour Rogaine on my nose. No, I have not done that.
Well, then you can't tell me that you don't. That it definitely doesn't work.
On the way home, we will stop and get Rogaine. I will pour it on your nose, and we'll see.
On my nose, no, on your nose. I don't want this.
Hey, well, you're already married. You're fine.
I would like to stay married.
I would like to hope that she wouldn't divorce you because you now have a unibrow.
Listen, that's probably accurate, but
and then you got August 4 or October 4th. Anything after that?
After that, not as of now. We're gonna work on some stuff. We're trying to do more shows out of Charlotte. Getting all the things together. Like if we can get David to stop doing all this humanitarian work.
Feeding hungry puppies in Croatia or something.
That dude's they found a puppy outside of the gas station, like 2 hours away from their house, and then took care of it for like 4 months, and then found a family for it.
And he already had 2 giant dogs at home, anyways, and then now has the third dog.
Yeah. Too nice.
I said it. He's the person we all want to be.
He's like one of those people that's like so good that you feel kind of bad
about yourself. Like
that's exactly what's happening right now.
Like, but then at the same time, you're just like he simultaneously makes you feel bad, but also like want to be better too. Which you're like, wow, there actually are nice people in the world.
Makes me want to take a bow.
I
don't want to be better.
We have 2 very different opinions.
Like you're brushing your teeth, like so. How can I be David today?
How can I beat David?
I feel like if you did something nice, you come back like, this is what I did. I uplifted an entire nation from poverty. It's like, how?
I'm that good.
I'm that good.
He was like super humble about it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it wasn't for Ben, he'd be the most quiet person in the band.
Yeah. Ben's pretty quiet.
Ben's like
we talk enough for the 2 of them.
Like once they open up, he's cool. But like he's a very chilled, relaxed, observe what's going on person. Same thing with David. Josh is a borderline sociopath, and I'm like the guy from The Hangover, where if you turn around 3 times, I'm gone, and you got to come find me.
I'm on to the next thing already. I enjoy quiet people because I try to break them. Not like break them down. Like I try to break the quiet.
I do the same.
So I just I had one kid at work. Not kid. He's older than me.
Yeah, this one kid.
Like by a few years, and he was like super quiet, and I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work. So I just berated him, and eventually he just snapped, and now he's like the most vocal person in the.
It's a talent that we have, man. I have the ability to, like my mom said this. I have the ability to be insanely annoying, but not to the point where you want to physically harm me.
Yep.
You want to hate me, but you can't figure out why you like me at the same time. It's like I want to punch him in his face, but he starts smiling, he makes a joke, and now I'm happy about it. I don't understand it.
I had one person had one woman tell me that I could tell someone to go fuck themselves and they would say thank you. She's like, I don't know how you do it.
That's the dream. That is the dream. When someone says, what do you want to do with your life? I want to be able to tell somebody to go fuck themselves, and they say thank you. I want to accomplish nothing else in life, just that specifically.
It is a talent.
You can't get too mad when I'm giving you a hug. So.
Exactly. That's why he started off that way. Ted Bundy. We're back to that.
Mm-hmm. Ted Bundy.
Hug, knife.
I don't like this look he's giving me.
I mean, you're within arm's reach. I'm good. I have time to react.
I gotta go over the
That's
back
not
of
a
the
door,
couch.
remember? It's just painted. It's like Wile E. Coyote in the
crazy
Roadrunner.
It's
The light changes?
It took a lot of money and time to figure that
And
out.
dedication.
That just seems excessive. Like, at that point, just have a wall.
When you have goals, you achieve them.
See, here's the thing. It's the details. That's where Ted Bundy messed up.
It was the details?
The details.
Messed up or succeeded? Well, I guess it depends on your point of view.
I would argue that there are a lot more than just the small details that got him caught.
I think it's more than just the details.
I would argue that fact, but agree to disagree. Oh,
I'm
man.
definitely not gonna have my mom listen to this.
Why? She'd love me.
She probably would. That's the funny part about it. She's like, I expect this from you.
Yeah, my mom would be like, "Oh no, what happened?"
Oh, I told my mom that I was doing this podcast, and she was like, "Oh, where can I listen to it?" I was like, "You don't want to listen to it."
I don't want to listen to that.
There's a lot of cursing and talking about drinking and occasionally blowjobs and heroin. You know what?
We have not covered blowjobs the entire
Yeah,
time
we
we've been
haven't.
sitting
I feel like we've missed a large.
Blowjobs?
here.
Oh. Next time on Broccoli and
Yeah. Next time on Broccoli and Blowjobs Breakdown Podcast. I don't think you can call it. You probably get it removed off of Spotify really quick if you put the word blowjob in the title.
Maybe it's like YouTube. As long as you don't talk about it in the first minute, then you're fine.
Like, that's the rule with YouTube?
Yeah, that's how you get past it. You just don't cuss or anything in the first minute, and then you can say fuck all you want.
And then you just start hitting with the Cartman after the minute.
It's like whatever.
Good to know.
Yep.
Demonetized real quick.
Now you know. Now you can put it on YouTube as long as you don't
It's
cuss
on
in the
YouTube.
first.
It's just.
Oh, well, now you can make
It's
money
explicit.
on YouTube.
Oh, I don't think so.
You never know.
We're musicians. We don't get to make
Yeah,
money.
we're,
Go on.
that's,
that's fair.
We're musicians. We don't make money. We make jokes about heroin.
Uh-huh. What was it? Oh, so yeah, no. I just want to. I am bad, and I keep picking this thing, but it looks better because it's not bleeding. So I must be doing something right.
Looks like it looks like the state of Hawaii right now, like little
Ooh,
island
I
yeah.
type
think,
thing.
yeah, the red inflammation definitely tells you you're doing something right.
Doing something good.
The red discoloration of skin around the scab tells you that it's
It
healing.
was black earlier, so I'm doing good. All right.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go.
Had to scrape a layer of skin off, but we're good.
It's all good. Like, if you don't scrape your layer of skin off a day, like, how you really living?
Exactly. You know.
Swamp
This man gets me. You need to step it up, bro.
Swamp78 is not responsible for any medical problems you may receive by listening to this podcast.
I feel like there's been several public service announcements here.
I mean, we're gonna probably need a little bit more.
It's like, we don't condone any of the behavior described in this podcast.
Well, we condone it. We just won't take responsibility if you do it.
I will not pay.
Touche.
Yeah, I will not pay for it.
Your choices are your own.
Where's your favorite place to play in Charlotte? Because I want to get out to Charlotte, so.
My favorite place that we played so far, just because I love Buck so much, is the Milestone.
Oh,
Buck's
so-
the owner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a dive bar, but it's just the feel. It feels very retro when you go in there and play. So I love the Milestone. Amos's played there. I've played it both, like the new and old Amos's. Like the new one is definitely a lot different than the old one, but my favorite place is definitely the Milestone. That's like home base for me.
And then is Fillmore. The Fillmore, is that still.
They have the Fillmore and they have the Fillmore Underground.
Okay.
Um,
They're more like touring bands, right?
Yeah,
National
that's
touring
like
bands.
the whole Live Nation.
The Underground has a lot of local shows, but it's harder to get in there now. So,
Yeah.
like the opportunity's there. So if you forget it, take it by all means. Just it's more for like the national touring acts.
What about you?
It's got to be a tie between the Milestone and Amos's. I mean, Amos is super cool. I mean, big venue, very professional. That whole thing. They get national touring acts. But like you said, Milestone's just cool. It's just like a little dive place. It just feels like home.
Yeah, see, I really like part of the reason I love Clayton so much is because it's just a small little place, and it doesn't. I mean, it shouldn't. It doesn't look like they're putting on the music that they're putting on. Like it just, you walk in, you're like, they're not about to throw breakdowns in here. Like, it's just
I definitely have to look into that to get us to play out there because the way you're describing it now, I want to go.
There's like a rabbit on the back wall, just a rabbit with a gun. I'm like, what the fuck?
Who does that? They do it. Clayton does
Literally
it.
just hit up Steven Grantham, Clayton Beverage.
Clayton, I will definitely do that.
Will You can play.
Steven, I'm gonna message you. I'm telling you.
He listens actually.
Oh yeah, Stephen,
He
we're
said-
coming for you.
Every time I go in there, and give him a big hug. He's like,
If anything that we've said has offended you at this point, I take it all back.
lies. Lies.
I definitely didn't mean it.
He's got his fingers crossed.
I didn't mean to get caught. I meant it. I just didn't mean to get caught.
Yeah, how do you... Because, I just want to know more about the scene in Charlotte. You got anything?
As far as, like...
Just in general. Anything you want to say?
Thank you guys for welcoming us. Like, we were definitely new. Like, I hadn't played a show since 2011, which was 7 years ago. So it's changed drastically since then. Bands, people, venues, of course. Like, Tremont's no longer there. R.I.P. Tremont. But the people are just fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's talent all over the board, and they all support each other. Like, that's pretty much all I can say.
Yeah. You pretty much nailed it.
I was doing one with another guy, Marcus Carter. He's in a band, Fear the Indifference, metalcore band from Raleigh. He was talking about how like Charlotte just has like Raleigh. There's a lot of talent in Raleigh. Charlotte is just like there's all the talent, and then there's like another level of like just professionalism and like all that stuff out in Charlotte. So that's why I'm like, I want to.
Yeah, definitely. Like another thing about the venue, like a lot of the venues in Charlotte will let you play if you just hit up the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Buck, you hit him up. He's like, when he'll give you like 37 dates. Like what date do you want to play? Like, and then he'll be like, can I book multiple? Yes. Like, what dates do you want?
There you go. If you want to play Charlotte, hit up
Buck at the Milestone.
The Milestone. Geez. Using that venues now.
Yeah, y'all should hit up Buck. That's what you should do.
Yeah,
Come
you
on
should.
down to Charlotte.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
It'll be hot, but we'll be there.
Oh yeah.
It's okay.
It'll be either
I
depending on the
think
season, it'll be very hot or very cold. But we'll be good.
That's fine.
Or it might be both on the same day. Like you never know. Depending on it might be like March 23rd. So it starts off at like 30 degrees and then it just builds up to 90, then goes back to 30.
It's like some miscongeniality shit.
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen that? There's a joke. There's a bad joke where it's like,
Sorry,
can you
bro,
describe?
You're married, we're not.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna say, like,
It's got a solid joke in it.
Is that so? Out of
That's
2 hours, it's
a good sale.
Joke.
Imagine if like the preview said that when you're in a movie theater.
There's
a
one
solid
solid
joke. Sandra Bullock stars in Miss Congeniality.
Oh, there's this movie called Tiptoes.
Yo, I already don't like where this is going. I didn't even need to hear a description.
It's not even about it's because the voiceover that you were doing. There's like the previews for this movie is this movie is about Matthew McConaughey and shoot, I can't think of his name. It's not Peter Dinklage. Maybe it is Peter Dinklage. I don't know. He's playing a midget. The whole movie is Matthew McConaughey and then his entire family of little people.
Okay then.
And he brings like his girlfriend home and then like it's just you have to look at the preview for this movie. It is so terrible.
How is he famous?
Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah, he just takes his shirt off and everything.
Alright.
Yeah, exactly.
I love high school girls. I get over they said same age.
Like you can say that, but like
I can't say that.
no, you
That's
can't.
weird.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, no, that was a really weird line looking back at it, but somehow that role got him famous, so...
He's basically just Quagmire.
With abs.
Have you ever seen Mud?
No.
It's Matthew McConaughey. I don't know.
I feel like
He's
he's
like a
just a big
serial-
Matthew McConaughey fan now.
I mean, after Mud, I actually really like Mud. I was not a Matthew McConaughey fan, but I will say How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, great movie.
I'll give you that. I will give you
It's a
that.
good movie.
I've seen.
So of all things, you've seen
oh my
that.
god! Here we go.
You've seen that.
It's on TBS like every 32 hours. Like yes, I've seen How to Lose.
32? That is
That's
very
oddly
specific.
Yes, I've seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but I haven't seen like Boogie Nights.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
That was also a very random choice.
What do you want? What do you want from me?
Have you
There's a
seen
lot
that?
of movies.
Yeah.
There's a random shot.
Okay, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, but I've seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Pulp Fiction's a good movie.
I know people keep saying it. It's on my list. Like, I saw The Breakfast Club in 2015. If that helps, the first time I saw that. So.
I don't know if I've ever seen the full thing. I've seen The Breakfast Club, but I don't know if I've like sit down and watched the whole thing.
I made myself do it. It was like 2:30 in the morning. I just made pizza rolls.
I've gone to bed.
I don't sleep. Like it's I'm weird like that.
I just want to go on the record that I cannot condone this terrible movie-going behavior.
First of all, let me finish the story. They were good pizza rolls. They were a combination. Tostino.
You put them in the oven or the microwave?
Who puts pizza rolls in the microwave?
Plenty of people.
Sometimes you gotta eat quick.
I'm putting them in the oven.
Yeah.
That's where they're supposed to go. It says pizza rolls go in the oven. So, and then it came up with like, I had gotten into an argument at work that day because I had brought up, I've never seen a Breakfast Club. And everybody like just started throwing things at me pretty much. It's like, you need to watch it. So I was like, okay.
I don't think they threw things at you.
No, they definitely would. 2 people did, but that was irrelevant.
It was only a knife.
It was only a knife and like a grenade. The pin was still in it. So I watched it that night and I was like, it's a pretty good movie. And then I came back and said it was a pretty good movie, and apparently that wasn't a good enough like review. So they told me to watch it again, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it a second time.
I'm not gonna watch.
So more of the story was combination pizza rolls are the best flavor of pizza rolls.
Combination.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and pineapple.
In a pizza roll?
Pineapple on a pizza.
Yes. For
You're
the
gonna
record,
you're gonna get him started.
pineapple belongs on a pizza, and I will fight anybody who disagrees.
Okay,
we'll
first
fight.
Stop! Don't fight people before we like. Let us get more immersed into the scene before we start beating people up over pizza.
We gonna fight. We can fight over some pizza. I won't fight
That's
you.
how you make your name, though.
Yeah,
You gotta have your niche.
How'd you guys start?
Pineapple on pizza
How'd you guys
is
get
the
famous?
niche.
Like, well, Josh actually hit somebody with his guitar because they said they didn't like pineapples on pizza.
Listen, you can say we suck. You can tell me I'm ugly. Pineapple belongs.
Both
on
of those
pizza.
things may be accurate.
You know what? We're not gonna disagree with that.
Anything else you guys want to promote?
Pretty much covered everything.
Talk about?
Go listen to our music and everybody else's music.
That's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And be more like David.
And Dirty Lowdown play another
Don't do
show
that
again.
to me. I can't be like David.
Okay, everybody try to be like David.
Try to be like David.
And Dirty Lowdown, we missed you in the scene. Please start playing shows again.
Yeah, notice me, senpai.
They switched singers, so they're working on stuff.
Oh, okay.
Struggle bus.
Love you
I'm gonna have
guys.
to check them out.
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
I just heard of Never. Oh, well, I didn't just hear of Never Eye, but I just listened to Never Eye,
Oh, they're fucking sweet.
and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah!" Like, fuck, these guys are good.
I didn't hear them
or,
until the Reason to Find album release show.
When,
That's when
yeah.
I saw them play. I was like, oh.
Yeah, or like Violent Life, Violent Death. Those guys were really badass. Like really heavy.
I watched them
like-
before the play, before they got a singer, like at the Milestone. That's the one of the shows I was talking about when I first saw Falling Through April. But it was like they
I was
played.
there at that one.
Okay, you were there at that one, and it was
I was
very.
there.
It was very different. They're 2 completely different style bands. I'm like, these guys are fucking sick, and their drummer is ridiculous too. So, but they're fucking awesome also.
That's what I love doing this podcast, where I get like local bands I need to check out, like venues and like just little things like Buck at the Milestone.
Yes.
I'm like, it makes my life so much easier. Like, there was one, I was at a show, Earthgroans. They're a band from South Dakota. Well, they were playing with Oh Sleeper.
Oh,
and another touring band, I don't know. Another old band. they were old guys, alright?
Wow, just calling O Sleeper some old guys.
No, the other band.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am calling O Sleeper some old guys, but also the other band was some old guys too.
I'm surprised he hasn't called us old at this point.
You call me old every day, so I'm
You
never-
are old, and I'm allowed to do
not
it.
old. We're only 3 years apart.
Details.
That's
It
not
was
that.
a long time.
It's really not. That's still the same president. That's not a long time.
Depends who's the president.
Yeah, true.
It was.
I don't pay attention.
It was the the first Bush.
When you were born?
Yeah. It was about to be
I was
Clinton.
born in February '89. That was before.
It's a good time.
It was
White House.
it was the end of Reagan. That's when I was born. That last year.
So it wasn't the same president.
Shut up. It was only for like 8 months.
But what was I gonna say? What were we talking about?
You were talking about anything else about the scene that you want to talk about?
We should change our name to non sequiturs because we are just
I
talking
told
about
you,
some
we
random
describe
ass
ourselves
shit.
as I'm not doing that. We are the ultimate clusterfuck of event. That is what we are.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I'm for it.
Yeah, I know. I got nothing.
I got nothing.
We're gonna do this. All right. So this is how we end the podcast with a try 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So you ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah!
Fucking one try. Woo!
First take wonder.
She's convinced herself you are.